All right, it's game day. You only got one job to do. That's win. That means you stay focused for 4 quarters. Know your assignments and finish on every play. Don't be looking for shortcuts, and don't even think about making excuses. Because if you want the W, you're going to have to earn it.
And a very pleasant good evening, football fans, and welcome to Baker Gator High School football on WTJT 90.1 FM. Tonight, we are live from Baker, Florida, inside Doug Griffith Memorial Stadium, home of your Baker Gators. Tonight is the season opener for high school football around the county and across the state. And right here, we have your Baker Gators hosting the Blue Devils of Holmes County. High school football is back on the air. Stay tuned. Kickoff just minutes away. And a very pleasant good evening, football fans, and welcome to Baker Gator High School football on WTJT 90.1 FM. Tonight we are live from Baker, Florida, inside Doug Griffith Memorial Stadium, home of the Baker Gators. It's the season opener of high school football around the county and across the state. And tonight we have your Baker Gators hosting the Blue Devils of Holmes County. High school football is back on the air. Stay tuned. Kickoff is just minutes away.
All right, it's game day. You only got one job to do. That's win. That means you stay focused for 4 quarters. Know your assignments and finish on every play. Don't be looking for shortcuts, and don't even think about making excuses. Because if you want the W, you're going to have to earn it.
And a very pleasant good evening, football fans, and welcome to Baker Gator High School Football on WTJT 90.1 FM. Tonight we are live from Baker, Florida, inside Doug Griffith Memorial Stadium, home of your Baker Gators. Tonight is the season opener for high school football around the county and across the state. And right here we have your Baker Gators hosting the Holmes County Blue Devils. Stay tuned. Our kickoff is just minutes away on WTJT.
One of our sponsors this year for our live coverage of Baker Gator varsity football is Wise Equipment in Crestview. Wise Equipment specializes in sales and services of Kubota and John Deere mowers and tractors. They carry Steel and John Deere chainsaws, line trimmers, and blowers. Plus, they have John Deere toys. All products are backed by a manufacturer's warranty. Wise Equipment is located at 1147 South Verdon Boulevard in Crestview and can be reached at 850-682-3366.
And welcome back to Baker High School. It is the season opener for high school football, and tonight the Baker Gators hosting the Holmes County Blue Devils. I'm Mark Forehand, along with Seth Forehand. It's good to be back in the press box with you after about a 5-year hiatus. Thanks for tuning in. The Gators won the coin toss and deferred to the second half. They will be kicking off to Holmes County. Holmes County decked out in their gold jerseys, gold pants with blue stripes and blue numbers and gold helmets. The Gators in their maroon jerseys with white numbers, maroon pants, and maroon helmets. Set to kick off for the Gators is number 28. That is Brian Holly. And we are just about set for tonight's game between the Blue Devils and the Gators. There's the whistle. It's a pooch kick, and it will be taken by Holmes County at the 36 and hit immediately by number 9, Joe Brunson. And Seth, what is the advantage or disadvantage to a pooch kick?
A lot of times it gives Baker a chance to go and get the ball. That time it's not quite an onside, but it's somewhere close. And that time, obviously, Joe Brunson was so quick that he hit the ball carrier almost as soon as he got the ball. So if he'd been a touch quicker, that would have been an onside kick, and he might have recovered. But I don't know if there's really any distinct advantages or disadvantages to that. But that seems like something that Baker has done really the past several years, ever since that Coach Brunson's been here, as far as I can remember.
Well, it gives the Blue Devils excellent field position. Ball at their 36-yard line, just underway in the first quarter. Quarterback is number 7, Tyler Lee. He is in a shotgun formation and now has an empty backfield. And now there's a whistle. Appears to be some confusion. And Seth, real quick, it looks like it's a legal procedure.
Delay of game.
Delay of game against the Blue Devils, and they'll march the ball back to the 31-yard line. And right away, the Blue Devils in the hole, 1st and 15 back at their 31-yard line. And again, the Blue Devils in shotgun formation. A lot of movement by the backs and receivers, Seth, and now finally they get set. Quarterback is number 7, Tyler Lee. There's the snap. And he hands off to his first man through. That's Xavier Matthews. He goes nowhere, stopped at the 31-yard line, Seth.
And the Blue Devils really looked there. They remind me of Georgia Tech. They run that wing T option offense, and that time the Gators just closed in immediately, got past their blockers, and were in the backfield almost as soon as the ball carrier had the ball. Stopped for no gain.
Looked like Eric McQueen may have been made the initial hit on that play. It's about a yard gain, brings up second down 14, 11:28 to go in this first quarter. Second down 14 from the Holmes County ball just outside the 32-yard line. Again, shotgun formation for the Blue Devils. Man goes in motion. Now Lee Wolves, quarterback keeper left side. He's to the 35, the 40 still going. And finally, he is brought down by Trey Colmetz near the 40-yard line.
And that's a solid option play by the Blue Devils there. So the quarterback runs a little read option. He sees that the defensive end bites down on the run, and he's able to take it off that edge and makes a nice little spin move to get himself a few extra yards, brings up a third and manageable against this Baker defense.
It is third down, 6 Blue Devils from their 40-yard line. Clock rolling, 10:44 to go in this opening quarter. Again, shotgun formation. There is one running back in the backfield. And Tyler Lee looks to pass. It's a quick pass to the outside, and it's caught, then bobbled. And not sure if he held on to it long enough to make the catch. The Baker Gators signaling fumble, and it is recovered by the Gators.
So, yeah, that time they were in shotgun, tried to run a little wide receiver screen. The receiver did have possession, took a couple steps, and then just took a punishing hit and looked like he was bobbling a little bit. And obviously the Gators closed on it quick, picked it up, and now they're going to start with phenomenal field position at their opponent's 40.
10:30 first quarter, no score. The Blue Devils fumble on their first possession, and Gators, as Seth mentioned, in great field position at the Holmes County 40-yard line. And your quarterback is Peyton Rockwell. He's a senior this year, wears number 18, and he is under his center, Dustin Oglesby. And pitch back goes to Junior McLaughlin left side. He's across the 35, the 30. He's still going 25-20. Finally shoved out of bounds inside the 15-yard line. A great run by Junior McLaughlin on the pitch.
And Junior McLaughlin, obviously a very speedy player, somebody that you don't want to beat you on the edge. And as soon as the Gator offensive line was able to set that edge, he's going to go, and he went several yards there. Obviously, it looks like about a 20-yard or so gain on the play.
About a 28-yarder is down to the 12-yard line. First and 10 Baker. No score, 10:19 to go first quarter. Again, Peyton Rockwell, the senior quarterback for Baker, under center Oglesby. Man in motion is Jack Adams. Again, Junior McLaughlin this time right side to the 10, the 5. He gets close to the goal line.
Touchdown.
And it is a touchdown. So the Baker Gators take the fumble, the turnover, and they march down the field 40 yards in about 3 plays.
And that was a great possession for the Gators. And on that run, especially, the Gators are running a power I, and they just have so many big bodies up there on that line. And a great block set on the edge by number 4. That was Kenny Williams, the fullback. Made a great block and gave McLaughlin plenty of space to use his speed. And when he gets in open space, he's going to take it to the house.
And now for the extra point is the senior Brian Holly. The holder is Nathan Fleming, and your center is Dustin Oglesby. There's the snap, ball's down. The kick is up, but it's wide left. So no good, but still, with 10:04 to go first quarter, it is now Baker 6, Holmes County nothing. Back after this.
We are proud to acknowledge the support of Whitehurst Powell Funeral Home in Crestview. They are a family-owned and operated funeral home, open 7 days a week, and can handle all funeral needs. Plus, they offer advanced planning. Whitehurst Powell is also home to the Southern Heritage Crematory. They are located at 436 James Lee Boulevard, and the phone number is 850-682-3052. Owner Andy Powell is committed to caring for you in your time of need, and is also proud to help make coverage of Baker Gator football possible.
Once again, WTJT would like to say thank you to the Okaloosa County Teachers Federal Credit Union here in Baker. The Okaloosa County Teachers Federal Credit Union offers a wide variety of services. They have savings and investments, checking accounts, insurance, home banking, NADA vehicle values, as well as auto loans, mortgage loans, and they also offer online banking. The Okaloosa County Teachers Federal Credit Union is located at 1307 Georgia Avenue, right past the Gator Cafe in Baker, and can be reached by phone at 850-537-9815 or on the web at okaloosa.fcu.org.
And welcome back to Baker Doug Griffith Memorial Stadium. The Gators go 40 yards in 3 plays. Junior McLaughlin on the touchdown, the extra point no good, and it's 6-0. Another pooch kick by Brian Holly, and this time fair catch is called for by Stephen Russ for Holmes County. And Seth, once again, almost identical field position. Looks like the ball at the Holmes County 37. Now, the advantage I see to a pooch kick is you force Holmes County to fair catch, no chance of a return. Also gives you a chance to get down there and maybe force a fumble. But nonetheless, the pooch kick, like you said, Coach Matt Brunson has used that several times over the past. This is his 8th season head coach here, and he's used it as far back as I can remember. So Holmes County first and 10, 37-yard line, 10 minutes to go. It is 6-0 Baker. Your quarterback for Holmes County is senior Tyler Lee. Again, shotgun formation. And some more. There goes a flag again, I believe, or looks like it's going to be delay a game again on Holmes County. So, Seth, a lot of penalties, or, well, the same one twice for Holmes County. Maybe nerves, I'm not sure.
It looks like a combination of nerves, and it also looks like this. Sometimes the option can be a fairly complicated offense in terms of knowing exactly we need to line up, who's going in motion, who's doing what. And that time it just seems like Holmes County's having trouble getting in their initial formations and then sending their guys in motion. And that time, again, quarterback's just not able to call the play out, get everybody lined up, and snap in that 25-second time.
Well, Seth, as quick as you can, give part of the starting defense for the Gators while they're coming back onto the field.
So the Gators are going to have 5 down linemen. That started at nose tackle with number 42, Devin Jordan. His 2 tackles, Carter Mason and Sean McLeod, and his 2 ends, Eric McQueen and Caleb Sampler. Has linebackers Kenny Williams, Joe Brunson, and John Madalesca. We'll finish that after this play.
And Lee back to pass is caught by his receiver. That's number 44, Ryan Wesner, and he's hit immediately. I believe that was
Kenny Williams, the middle linebacker. Yes,
right.
Just a little out route to the flat there, and Kenny Williams closed on it immediately and was able to take the receiver down very quickly to stop him for a short gain.
Maybe a 2-yard gain, 2nd down, 8 for Holmes County from their 39. Clock rolling 9:30, first quarter. Baker on top, 6-0. Again, shotgun formation. And Lee passes to his right. It sails way over the head of his receiver, and it was nearly tipped by Trey Colmetz, or nearly caught for Baker, but over the head of everyone that time, Seth.
And speaking of Trey Colmetz, one of the leaders in the secondary, he's going to be the free safety tonight, and he'll be anchored by his 2 corners, Nathan Fleming and Derek Peoples. That's your starting defense for the Baker Gators. On that play, it looked like there was a little bit of miscommunication between the receiver and the quarterback. Like he wanted to go a little bit deeper, and they stopped on some comeback routes. So a little miscommunication troubling the Devils tonight.
9:22 first quarter. The incomplete brings up 3rd down 8. Lee rolls to his right, gets the ball off, and again sails way over the head of his intended receiver. That was number 15, Josiah Farrow. And Derek Peoples there just in case he made the catch. So once again, Seth, the Gators force Holmes County into a 3. And now, of course, the first time was a turnover. And this time, 1 complete pass and 2 incomplete passes. Stops the clock at 9:18 first quarter.
And you're seeing a very solid Baker Gator defense right here. Some miscommunication and maybe some first game troubles for the Blue Devils, but a very solid defensive start for the Gators.
And back to punt is the quarterback, Tyler Lee. And back for the Gators are Junior McLaughlin and Derek Peoples. And McLaughlin will just back away, let it roll, and that's a nice punt by the quarterback. Rolls down to the Baker 15-yard line. 9:18 to go first quarter. Baker 6, Holmes County nothing. Back after this.
WTJT would like to thank Harris Fence of Baker, Florida for their support of WTJT and live coverage of Baker Gator football. Harris Fence offers a wide range of fencing services and supplies which include chain link, galvanized or vinyl coated, wood, privacy or picket, PVC, privacy, 3-rail, etc., and ornamental aluminum. They also offer various styles and brands. They do residential, commercial, and industrial work as well as offer free estimates and military and senior citizen discounts. Harris Fence is fully licensed and insured, and they have been serving Okaloosa, Walton, and Santa Rosa County for 21 years with 35 years experience. They are also a member of the Better Business Bureau. Harris Fence is located at 1588 Garrett Mill Road in Baker, Florida, and they can also be contacted by phone at 537-6169. Thanks again to Harris Fence and James and Rebecca Harris for your support of WTJT and our local football team.
And welcome back to Baker. 1st and 10 for Baker from the 15, and Junior McLaughlin runs off the left side, and he's out to the 37-yard line, forced out of bounds by Cody Pate. So it is 1st and 10 Baker from their 37-yard line. And quarterback Peyton Rockwell pitched out to McLaughlin again, who finds running room out across the 40-yard line. There's a flag down.
It looks like 2 flags there on the play, but I just want to say that's the 4th straight toss play by the Baker Gators. 2 to the left, 2 to the right now. And, if it's not broke, don't fix it. It's definitely working for the Gators right now. We'll see what these penalties are.
Well, it's looking like it may go against the Gators, just judging by the reactions. Illegal procedure. It is declining, and it's also 2 penalties. You're right, 2 penalties on the holding call they do accept. And nullifies a short run by McLaughlin. But, back at their 15-yard line, that was about a 22-yard run he made. And actually, Cody Pate pushed him out of bounds, and there was a little extra push after that, but the refs let it go.
And maybe a little frustrations there because McLaughlin is running hard tonight and running all over them. It looks like he's already had, obviously, 3 great runs. And, again, if it's not broke, don't fix it. He's made this play happen several times already.
Coach Brunson having a heated discussion with the side ref, and I don't think they're exchanging phone numbers, but Matt very upset on the play. 8:45 to go first quarter. Baker 6-0. Second down and long, or first down long, and this time it's Peoples on the left side. He's to the 40, the 45, the 50. He's still going to the 30, the 25, the 20. Steps out of bounds near the 22-yard line, but a great run by Derek Peoples that time.
And that's just a little jet sweep. Quarterback motions Peoples over to his left side, and as he's coming through, hands off, and then Peoples just has some great block. And I saw a pancake block by one of the receivers on that outside and is just able to pave a way. And obviously Peoples, another speedy player on this Gator offense, is able to punish him and make a phenomenal run.
Well, the big guys up front at left tackle is Taylor Barrow, left guard Carter Mason, the center is Dustin Oglesby, the right guard Gavin Vaccarello, and the right tackle Zach Mason. The tight end is Brian Holly. The receivers are Brad Inscore and Jack Adams, and Derek Peoples is the split end. Quarterback Peyton Rockwell. Your running back, tailback is Junior McLaughlin, and Peyton under center, hands off to McLaughlin. Finds a hole with that right side, Seth, and those big guys up front are really providing some big holes. That's about a 5-yard gain down to the 31-yard line of Holmes County. Second down for the Gators.
And just a simple dive play, just right up the gut, and that's what those big guys on the front love doing. They love getting in the trenches and making big holes for their running backs to run through. And when you got guys that can make great runs like their running backs, it makes it even more fun for them.
8:05 to go in the first quarter. Baker now facing second down and about 6 from the Blue Devil 31-yard line. Again, Peyton Rockwell under center Oglesby. And handoff is to McLaughlin. No quarterback keeper. He's on the left side. He's to the 20-yard line before being pulled down. And a vicious hit there by, I believe that was Redis for Holmes County.
Now a read option there on the Gator side. He fakes the handoff up to McLaughlin up the middle, sees that they're all biting in on that run, and is able to take it off to that left side, and some great blocks up front. And he's able to get a first down for the Gators.
It is 1st and 10 Baker at the Holmes County 22-yard line. 7:32 to go in this opening quarter. Baker 6 and Holmes County nothing. And once again, quarterback Rockwell under center Oglesby. And it's a pitch back to McLaughlin right side. Gets across the 20. 15 still going. And finally, it's going to be forced out of bounds on the far side inside the 10-yard line.
And that's another toss play to McLaughlin. Gators are in that offset eye, which gives the fullback Clifton Baker the ability to get outside, set another block on the edge. And McLaughlin looks like he's going to cut back inside, but he's so quick, he bites right back outside and is able to get outside for a first down.
7:05 to go first quarter. It is first and goal now for Baker. The ball just inside the 10, about the 9-yard line. And for the first time tonight, Seth, Peyton Rockwell drops back in shotgun formation. Peoples in motion. He hands off to Peoples, trying to find a hole. Finally cuts inside. He's across the 5. Goal line. Touchdown, Baker Gators.
And another jet sweep, just like the one they ran back in their own territory. That time Peoples finds his hole and is able to explode through that. Gets to the goal line and extends that ball over for the touchdown.
So another back-to-back possession or touchdowns on possessions for the Gators.
And that's the kind of productivity you want to see out of your offense, especially in a first game of the season. Gators are looking stout right now.
It is 12-0 with 6:43 to go in the first quarter. And the Gators going for the 2-point conversion here to make up for that missed extra point. Again, Peyton Rockwell in shotgun. Peoples in motion. Rockwell keeps the ball, and he's going to be close, and he's in there. The 2-point conversion is good. 6:43 to go in this opening quarter. Your new score is Baker 14, Holmes County nothing. Back after this.
Ministry relies heavily upon its gracious supporters to survive, like Days Tire Pros in Crestview. In addition to tires with a national warranty, they have a complete car care center, providing brake jobs, front end and rear end alignments, oil change, lube and filter, shocks, belts, air conditioning, and so much more. Days is located where they've been for nearly 4 decades of service, on Highway 85 South, which is also home to Pack Rat Mini Storage. The phone number, 850-682-5088. Thanks, Kim and staff, for your support. Days Tire Pros, home of the hassle-free guarantee.
And welcome back to Baker High School, Doug Griffith Memorial Stadium. Mark and Seth with you on this opening season for high school football. And the Baker Gators, 2 possessions, 2 touchdowns. They lead 14-0 with 6:43 to go in this opening quarter. And once again, senior Brian Holly set to kick off. And Seth, prediction here, pooch kick?
I would say that's a safe bet.
And we are waiting the whistle. There it is. And now here's the kick by Holly. And it isn't the pooch kick. And fair catch is called for by Stephen Russ. Once again, near the 40-yard line. Well, the pooch kicks are getting shorter. They was to the 36, the 38, now the 40. Like I say, of course, so far it's not hurt Baker, but it gives Holmes County excellent field position at their 40-yard line.
Yeah, absolutely. And these last 2 times, I believe Stephen Russ has called for a fair catch. After that very first one he caught, Joe Brunson made him second think, or do a double take.
Joe Brunson introduced himself impolitely, but nonetheless, there's a timeout on the field. 14-0 Baker. Back after this.
Hi, this is Tony from Baker Feed and Country Store. The Baker Gator football season is back, and we are proud supporters of WTJT's live Baker Gator football program. Baker Feed and Country Store has all your fall food plot, seed, and fertilizer needs, along with corn, rice bran, pellets, and blocks. We carry Justin boots, belts, wallets, and Wrangler jeans. Baker Feed and Country Store is located on the right at the light in downtown Baker and can be reached by phone 537-1000. Again, that's 537-1000. Go Gators!
And welcome back to Baker High School on 1st and 10 from their 40. Number 44, Ryan Wesner from Holmes County, is out near midfield. He's just a yard shy of the first down, brings up 2nd down and 1. For Holmes County at the 49. 6:19 to go. A high snap. Lee gets it down, hands off to Westner again, and Westner's across field and runs into several Gators. Looks like it was number. I'm sorry. It looks like John.
Oh, Madaleska.
Thank you.
Great.
I'll be honest. I am having a hard time with that name, but thank you, Seth. Yeah. Makes the tackle there at the Baker 49. But that's Holmes County's first down tonight.
Correct.
And they're into Baker territory. 6:02 to go, first quarter. Baker 14, Holmes County nothing. 1st and 10. Holmes County at the Baker 49. And a little mix-up in the backfield. Lee tried to hand off to his running back, Bubba Duncan, and really ran into him.
Yeah, it looked like there is a little bit of a miscue. Duncan trying to run that same sweep play that the Gators have been running with wide receiver, and that time he just bumps into his quarterback and kind of half tackles himself. But also the Gators had already broken through their blocks and were in the backfield almost immediately. So that's going to bring up a nice 2nd and long for the Devils.
I believe that was Zach Mason back there for the Gators on that play. It is 2nd down and 12 back at the 49. Another high snap. A handoff to Western. He finds some open ground, and he's out across the Baker 30-yard line before finally being tackled. That time tackle made by Nathan Fleming, but it's a 1st down for Holmes County. And now, Seth, the Blue Devils marching down the field, 1st and 10 inside the 30.
And it looks like they're starting to find some rhythm in this drive, and the O-line's getting a little bit more confident, starting to really push around the defensive line for the Gators, and that time parted the Red Sea, so to speak, and Western took it pretty far.
5:14 to go, 14-0 Baker. But Holmes County threatening. They have the ball 1st and 10 at the Baker 29-yard line. Quarterback for the Blue Devils is Tyler Lee. Again, shotgun formation. Western's in the backfield with him. Looking to pass. Those out to the flat and nearly intercepted by Derek Peoples. He overthrew his receiver, and Derek Peoples nearly a one-handed grab, but it's incomplete. 2nd down for Holmes County.
And it's another wide receiver screen, and that time the Gator secondary read it almost perfectly. Almost that would have been a pick 6 because there was nobody behind them to make that stop. So great defensive play by the Gators.
It is 2nd down and 10. Holmes County ball at the Baker 29. Clock stop 4:51 first quarter. Baker 14-0. But Holmes County with their deepest penetration into Baker territory. A low snap, but Lee gets it, hands off to Western. He's going nowhere. He was hit immediately by that stout Baker defense, and that was number 4, Kenny Williams, who popped him first and then got some assistance from a couple of teammates.
Yeah, that time they closed on the run quick again, and these Gators, they keep their eyes on the backfield, they keep their eyes on the ball, and just were not fooled at all by that play and crushed him quick.
It is 3rd down, 10. Holmes County ball at the Baker 29-yard line. Clock rolling, 4:19 first quarter. Baker on top, 14-0. Lee back to pass, and this time he hits his man. That is Duncan, who makes the grab, but he is hit immediately once again. And I believe, was that Rockwell that made the tackle, Seth?
I believe it was, and he gave him a lick. The quarterback out there making some hits. How about that?
Well, this impressive drive by Holmes County is stuffed thus far at the Baker 35-yard line, about a 6-yard loss. Now they face 4th and 16. And looks like they will go for it here. Really no choice. 3:45 to go in this opening quarter.
Watch for a possible pooch punt here.
Duncan in motion. He's trying to draw the Gators off sides, and he does. But that only will advance the ball about 5 yards. It's still going to be 4th and long, 4th and 11 to be exact, at the Baker 30-yard line.
Which is much more manageable in this situation. You always take a 4th and 10 over a 4th and 15. So we'll see what they elect to do here. Watch out for one of those wide receiver screens again.
3:45. Lee in shotgun formation with the 1 running back and 4 receivers, and he drops back to pass quickly, and he overthrows his receiver. He was trying to get the ball to E.J. Redis and overthrows him by several feet. So the Baker defense once again stops Holmes County after an impressive drive by the Blue Devils. And the Gators 1st and 10 from their 30. 3:41 first quarter. Baker 14 and Holmes County nothing.
And that's really the first time tonight that we've seen the Gators kind of on their heels a little bit, kind of push back, and immediately, once they got in their own territory, pinned their ears back, came right after the Blue Devils, and were able to stop them in their tracks. In that last play, we're not fooled by that pass, and now they got the ball right back. So we'll see what they do on their 3rd possession, if they can make it 3 for 3 on touchdowns.
Well, this time they got a little further to go, 70 yards to be exact, which is no big deal for the Gators, right?
No, considering their longest drive tonight was already, about 88 yards that they started their own 12. So we'll see what they can do here.
And there's a timeout taken by Baker. We'll take it as well. 14-0 Baker back after this.
Attention WTJT listeners. For us to stay on the air, it takes the support of friends like Baker Tire Center. Baker Tire Center is now a Goodyear tire dealer, but they still have a wide range and variety of all the different brands. From economy to luxury tires, from street to mud tires, they handle all tire needs, including flat repairs, mount and balance, rotate and balance, alignments, brake pads, shocks, tune-ups, AC work, and much more. Baker Tire Center also offers standard synthetic and diesel oil changes, as well as transmission, coolant, power steering, and brake services. Baker Tire Center is located at 5768 Highway 4 in Baker, and the phone number is 850-537-4002. Open Monday through Friday from 7:30 to 5, 7 to 12 on Saturday. Available on Google and Facebook. Baker Tire Center, now a Goodyear tire dealer in Baker, offering 12-month interest-free financing and a 24-month, 24,000-mile warranty.
And welcome back to Baker High School. 1st and 10 for the Gators. From their 30-yard line, they lead 14-0, 3:41 to go. This time, hand off to Derek Peoples, and he finds a big hole. He's across the 45, the 50, the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10. There's no stopping him. Well, I said that too soon, Seth. He hesitated trying to cut back in and is tackled at the 1-yard line, a 69-yard run. But hold on, there's a flag down, so it doesn't matter anyway. But it's a face mask on the Blue Devils. I think they will decline this penalty and take the yardage. A 69-yard run by Peoples, and Seth, not sure. He may just give out a gas that time. I don't know.
I'm not really sure what happened there, but the Gators start off in a wildcat, so they actually had Junior McLaughlin in the quarterback slot, and they ran that same sweep play, and Peoples, again, just using his incredible athleticism to burst through that hole. And once he got in open space, it looked like he was gone, but like you said, I'm not sure what happened right at the 1-yard line, if he was doing a back step, or, like you said, if he just gave out a gas.
He appeared to be trying to cut back into the inside, and he was stopped by Holmes County, but 3:22 to go. Baker on top 14-0. They are first and goal at the Blue Devil 1-yard line. And McLaughlin in that wildcat formation, and he's going to keep the ball himself. And he is into the end zone barely, but it's good enough. So Baker goes up 20-0 in the first quarter. You know, last year the Gators traveled to Bonifay and quite simply just destroyed the Blue Devils last year in Bonifay 35-6. And so far, this is shaping up to make, maybe surpass that. I'm not sure.
Right now, the Gators are on pace to score 84 points. We'll see if they do that. I like to think that Coach Brunson would take his foot off the gas once he gets a comfortable 42-point lead or something to that effect. But, another great drive by the Gators. Once again, those offensive linemen are just having their way with the Holmes County defensive line and providing great holes. That time, McLaughlin found another one and scored a touchdown.
There's the snap. Ball is placed down by Nathan Fleming, and before Brian Holly can kick it, a leather flag comes down, and it's going to be a legal procedure, looks like, against the Gators. Now, Seth, I've not seen Brian Holly kick much. Not really sure just how far his distance is. Of course, this should be a 5-yard penalty, but not sure. I know for the first one was wide left, and it was low and wide to the left.
Right.
So now he'll be kicking. They'll place the ball down about the 15-yard line. It'll be a 25-yard extra point attempt by Brian Holly. Your holder is Nathan Fleming, and the center is Dustin Oglesby. 3:09 to go in the first quarter. There's the snap. Fleming gets it down. This time the kick is up, and it is good. So your new score with 3:09 to go first quarter is Baker 21, Holmes County nothing. Back after this.
Hi, this is Tony from Baker Feed and Country Store. The Baker Gator football season is back, and we are proud supporters of WTJT's live Baker Gator football program. Baker Feed and Country Store has all your fall food plot, seed, and fertilizer needs, along with corn, rice bran, pellets, and blocks. We carry Justin boots, belts, wallets, and Wrangler jeans. Baker Feed and Country Store is located on the right at the light in downtown Baker and can be reached by phone 537-1000. Again, that's 537-1000. Go Gators!
And welcome back to Baker High School. A 69-yard run by Peoples, and then McLaughlin goes in for the touchdown. And the extra point by Brian Holly is good. And your score is now Baker 21, Holmes County nothing. 3:09 to go first quarter. Mark and Seth with you on this opening night of high school football. And Seth, it's a good feeling. To misquote a famous Christmas song, this is our favorite, most wonderful time of the year, football.
100%.
And Brian Holly once again set to kick off. And look, it's a pooch kick. And this time, Stephen Russ tried to make the catch and gets popped.
So he had second thoughts again. This time, the wrong thoughts, and Joe Brunson made him pay for it on that sideline.
And Seth, each pooch kick it seems like it has gotten closer and closer towards the Baker side of the field. And this time it goes 2 more yards. It is at the Holmes County 42-yard line.
I think Coach Brunson's just easing him up to the point of an onside kick. We'll see how close he gets to his line.
Quarterback for Holmes County is the senior Tyler Lee, and once again in shotgun formation. Wesner in the backfield with him, the only running back in the backfield. He has 4 wide receivers, 3 to the left and 1 to the right. There's your snap. It's a good snap. And this time the pass is called by Bubba Duncan near the 45-yard line. And he is stopped on the far side by number 9, Joe Brunson.
One time his receiver ran a little curl route in the flats. He's open. Quarterback hits him quick, but the Gators also got there quick and stopped him for a short gain. 3
yards. It is 2nd down, 7. Holmes County from their 45-yard line. 2:41 to go in the first quarter. Baker on top, 21-0. Again, shotgun formation for the Blue Devils. And handoff is to Wesner. He busts through the line. Well, it's a quarterback keeper. And Lee goes down the sideline. That fooled everyone, even me. And he goes down the left sideline, or down by the visitor side, and he's down to the 28-yard line. And that's about a 27-yard run. I'm sorry, Seth, go ahead.
No, you're fine. That's great. Again, and that's part of the Gators keeping their eyes in the backfield, kept their eyes completely on the run at that time. And the quarterback, Tyler Lee, is able to get to the outside, and he's got some pretty good legs on him, and is able to get up the sideline, get a nice first down. And once again, Blue Devils are in Gator territory. We'll see if they can come away with a touchdown this time.
2:14, first quarter. Baker 21, Holmes County nothing. And the Devils 1st and 10 at the Baker 28. Timeout, Baker. We'll take it as well. Back after this.
WTJT and the Baker Gators are proud to recognize Baker Parts in downtown Baker as a sponsor of live coverage of Baker Gator football. Baker Parts has auto parts and hardware for all household needs. Baker Parts is located at 1304 Georgia Avenue in Baker, and their phone number is 537-3131 or 537-4231. Thanks, Danny, and all the staff at Baker Parts for helping to make coverage of Baker Gator football possible on WTJT.
And welcome back to Baker High School, a short timeout by the Baker Gators. And Holmes County 1st and 10 at the Baker 28-yard line. And Seth, I believe this may be the furthest. They got to the 30 last time, and they're down to the 28. 2:12, first quarter, Baker 21, Holmes County nothing, but the Blue Devils 1st and 10 at the Baker 28. Handoff goes to Bubba Duncan. He goes nowhere. He is hit immediately by Rockwell. And also, I believe, Carter Mason.
Yeah, and great job again by the Gator defense. They're able to get past their blockers, and the running back just has nowhere to go. As soon as he gets the ball, he's got a defender on top of him. So another good stop by the Gator defense. And this is crunch time for them. Once they get their backs up to the wall, they seem to really knuckle down. We'll see if the Blue Devils can get through this wall.
It's a yard loss back to the 29, almost 30-yard line. So 2nd down, 11. For Holmes County. 1:40 to go. Lee, shotgun pass out to the left side. His receiver catches the ball and paid for it as the Gators come up with a devil sandwich. There near the 25-yard line, a short gain of about 4 yards, brings up 3rd and looks like about 7 for the Blue Devils.
And that time he ran a little 4-yard curl route. Quarterback hit him quick, as he has to, but again, Baker defense just has so much speed. They're big guys, but they're also really fast. And that time Joe Brunson was able to get out there, met him first, followed by the rest of his Gators.
We're down to 1:02 to go in this opening quarter. It is 3rd down and about 6 for the Devils. And whistle is blown. And not sure, Seth, if that was a flag or just a timeout. It was illegal procedure against the Blue Devils. So they're marching back about 5 yards to the 30.
Like one of the offensive linemen got a little bit antsy there.
Yeah. Back to the 30-yard line. So now it's 3rd down and 12. And we are at the 57-second mark left in this first quarter. And it seems like this quarter has kind of just drug by. To me, even though with 3 scores by Baker, it seemed like it's just still been a slow-moving quarter. But nonetheless, 3rd and 12, Holmes County back at the Baker 30. Shotgun formation, Tyler Lee back to pass. And this time he goes out to Josiah Farrow, and he's hit immediately by Junior McLaughlin.
And he's trying to hit Farrow in that flat, give him a little bit of open space to run, but it seems like when you're running against the Gators, there really is no open space because those guys fill that space so quickly. And like you said, he was met almost immediately as soon as he had the ball, and it's kind of surprising he was able to keep on it or hold on to it, but it looks like he actually lost a few yards on that reception.
He lost 2 yards back to the 32, and the clock is down to 9.87 seconds. I think they're going to let it run out. So another 4th down situation for Holmes County. That's the end of one quarter here from Doug Griffith Memorial Stadium. Your score, Baker 21, Holmes County nothing. Back after this.
WTJT would like to send a special thanks to CCSI of Crestview, Florida. It's businesses like you, through all your support, that makes this live coverage of the Baker Gators Friday Night Football possible.
One of our sponsors this year for our live coverage of Baker Gator varsity football is Wise Equipment in Crestview. Wise Equipment specializes in sales and services of Kubota and John Deere mowers and tractors. They carry Steel and John Deere chainsaws, line trimmers, and blowers. Plus, they have John Deere toys. All products are backed by a manufacturer's warranty. Wise Equipment is located at 1147 South Verdon Boulevard in Crestview and can be reached at 850-682-3366.
And welcome back to Baker High School at the end of one quarter. It is Baker 21 and Holmes County nothing. And now the Blue Devils are facing 4th and 12 from the Baker 32-yard line.
And we'll see what they choose to do here. 4th and 12 at their own 32. Their quarterback is also their punter. And we'll see. He might do a little pooch kick here, or they may go ahead and go for it and see what kind of luck they have against this Baker Gator defense.
Yeah, that's the thing. At this part of the field, you're not really, how do you say it, not quite good enough for a field goal attempt and too close for a punt. So you go for it. So Lee, again in shotgun formation, looking to pass, gets the ball off quickly, and it goes right through the hands of his receiver, and Junior McLaughlin there to make sure that Redis went no further anyway. So once again, a 4th down stop for the Gators. I'm sorry, go ahead, Seth.
No, you good. It looked like he tried to hit Redis again on a slant route, and it would have been close to the 1st down marker, but he was immediately just walloped by that safety. And now, once again, Gators have another 4th down stop, and the Blue Devils got into Baker Gator territory again and come away with nothing.
Exactly. 11:53 to go in the second quarter. Baker up 21-0 over Holmes County, and they had the ball 1st and 10 at their 31-yard line. Rockwell pitches back to McLaughlin right side. McLaughlin following his blocker. He's to the 40 and shoved out of bounds. Whoa, by number 40 for Holmes County. He takes a sliding dive, jump, skip over the bench, and this crowd gives him an applause, I guess a 10 on that dive.
Yeah, you heard my little whistle there. That looked like it hurt. He slid into the sideline, made a little jump on the bench, and then landed on his butt right there on the track. Looked kind of painful, but he walked it off, so good for him. He deserved a round of applause on that.
Jaden Mathis for Holmes County, who forced McLaughlin out of bounds at the Baker 46-yard line. Is 1st and 10. Baker up 21-0. Peyton Rockwell under his center, Oglesby. And pitch back again to McLaughlin. He goes nowhere, and that's the first sack of the game by Holmes County. And that was number 16 for Holmes County, Kalen Evans, who busted that line and puts a sack and a loss on McLaughlin.
Yeah, it looked like they were not fooled at all by the toss play that time, and that's about the 7th or 8th time they've seen it now. But the defensive line was just able to break through his blood like one of the wide receivers. I believe that was Brad Inscore that he just blew right by, actually pushed him into the backfield, and then made the tackle on McLaughlin. And that's a solid play from the Holmes County defense that's really been reeling thus far in this game.
That's about a 5-yard loss, puts the ball back at the Baker 41-yard line. 11 minutes to go in this second quarter. Once again, Rockwell is under a center. I formation, and he hands off to McLaughlin, and McLaughlin is hit immediately at the line of scrimmage by Jeremy Martinez, and then gets some help from his teammates and pulls McLaughlin down. He maybe a yard, Seth, brings up third down and about 14 for the Gators.
And great job by Martinez just shedding that block and immediately finding McLaughlin in the backfield. And it really looks like the Holmes County Devils are starting to make the Gator offense work a little bit. And right now, Holmes County's making some great plays.
Well, one of the few times tonight that Peyton Rockwell drops back into shotgun formation. 10-17, second quarter. It's a clean snap by Oglesby. Rockwell throws deep downfield. He's got his man wide open. That is number 6. Brad Inscore makes an incredible catch inside the 20-yard line. Finally tackled by the Blue Devils, and that was Clayton Bush for the Blue Devils. But what a great pass by Rockwell. Great catch and run by Inscore.
And Inscore just ran a little streak right down the sideline. Rockwell hits him almost in perfect stride, and then Inscore's able to make the catch while receiving contact and brings the ball down. A great third down conversion. And now the Gators once again threatening in Blue Devil territory.
It is 1st and 10 Baker at the Holmes County 20-yard line. 9:57 to go. They're up 21-0. And again, Rockwell on the handoff to McLaughlin, who's out across the 15-yard line. Brings up 2nd down and 5 for the Gators.
And another powerful run by McLaughlin, just 5 yards, nickel and diming him all the way up the field, following those great big hog mollies up front that are just having a lot of fun right now.
And the clock is going kind of haywire, but I think there's 8:30 to go in this second quarter. Anyway, McLaughlin on the handoff breaks one tackle, breaks a second, and it takes nearly a whole horde of Blue Devils to throw him out of bounds.
McLaughlin, a very powerful runner, not only speedy when he gets outside, but also just got great power, able to keep those legs churning, break several tackles, get a first down, and now it's going to be a nice 1st and goal for the Gators.
The ball is placed just inside the 5-yard line. 1st and goal, as Seth said, for the Gators. And Peyton Rockwell is under his center. And again, handoff to Rockwell, and to McLaughlin, and he is met and brought down quickly by Bailey Rich of Holmes County. And it's a loss back to about the 8-yard line.
Yeah, that time Holmes County was not fooled by any stretch, and they got in the backfield quick, found McLaughlin, and brought him down. Nice tackle by Rich that time.
And not sure what's going on here, Seth. I guess, was there a fumble on the play perhaps? It looks like it is Holmes County's ball.
Appears there was.
Somehow I missed the fumble, and I apologize for that, but there was a fumble, so Holmes County gets a break here. That's the first stop they've made on Baker tonight.
Yep, that's the first Gator possession that did not end in a touchdown. So.
Like I said, I'm not sure what's wrong with the scoreboard clock. All I can see is 16 seconds, but I think there's 7 or 8. But anyway, it's 1st and 10. Holmes County, the ball at their 8-yard line. And now looks like timeout is called by the Gators.
Yeah, it looks like there's some miscommunication on the defense there, and Coach Brunson wanted a timeout to sort it out.
Well, not just that, but they've added 2 points to our score, making it 23-0, which is not correct. So, anyway, it's a timeout on the field. We'll take it this way. I'll be right back after this.
We are proud to acknowledge the support of Whitehurst Powell Funeral Home in Crestview. They are a family-owned and operated funeral home, open 7 days a week, and can handle all funeral needs. Plus, they offer advanced planning. Whitehurst Powell is also home to the Southern Heritage Crematory. They are located at 436 James Lee Boulevard, and the phone number is 850-682-3052. Owner Andy Powell is committed to caring for you in your time of need, and is also proud to help make coverage of Baker Gator football possible.
And welcome back to Baker High School. Still some scoreboard issues with the clock, but it is Baker 21 Holmes County nothing. 1st and 10, Holmes County. It's a low snap. It's bobbled by Lee. He picks it up, but he goes nowhere as he is hit immediately by number 9, Joe Brunson.
And Brunson was almost in the backfield as soon as the ball was. He was just blew right by the line, found the quarterback, and was able to bring him down for a quick loss. And now already Blue Devils are in quite a hole inside their own territory.
Yeah, back to the 4-yard line. A 4-yard loss brings up 2nd down and 14. But that's one of the few times we've seen a really low snap. Actually, Lee called it and then bobbled it. And Joe Brunson there to take advantage of that. And again, shotgun formation for Lee. Quick pass out to the right side. He's called by his receiver. He breaks one tackle, and he's out across the field. And finally, he's brought down by number 57. And Seth, I don't have a name for that number on my roster. But anyway, brought down. It's about a 5-yard pickup out to the 9-yard line. Still brings up 3rd down and 9.
And again, the Blue Devils run another little wide receiver screen. That one a little bit more successful. The other receivers and the line are able to set some good blocks, and that really gets them out of the danger zone, it looks like.
Barely, but anyways, a handoff this time. It's Wesner, and he's across the 10-yard line. He'll be well short of the 1st down. Needed to get out to the 18-yard line. He's going to be about 7 yards shy. Brings up 4th down, and obviously a punting situation here, but now back deep in your own territory. Do you think the Baker Gators will try to block the punt or set up for the return? McLaughlin's back at the 40 of Holmes County.
It looks like they're going to come after this punt. McLaughlin's the only one back there, and the Gators have – oh, nope, and now Brad Inscore is going to come back with McLaughlin, so they will have 2 return men. But I'd imagine the other 9 guys are still going to come after this punt pretty heavy and see what they can do.
Well, the clock is finally fixed. It is 7:15 to go. It's a good snap and a great punt. It will bounce at about the 40 and rolls across midfield. McLaughlin picks it up at his 45. He's to the 50, the 45, the 40, the 35, the 30. He's still going. He's got open field. He's to the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Baker Gators. He takes that punt back about 55 yards and makes the Devils pay. And, wow, what a run by Junior McLaughlin. And Seth, he just kind of weaved in and out, just looking for holes and found them.
Bobbing and weaving, that's all he had to do. But also what was impressive about that is he let the punt hit the ground and bobble back just a little bit before he picks it up, turns that corner and comes up the right sideline. And by then the Gators are setting blocks. They're able to make him some holes, and then his shiftiness and his speed he just uses, like you said, bob and weave until he gets in the end zone untouched.
And Seth, he got some excellent blocks, and I apologize for not catching some of the numbers of the players who gave him some great blocks, but some great blocking on that punt return.
Absolutely.
And it was about a 55-yard return by McLaughlin. It was a great punt, but to no avail. And now Brian Holly set for the extra point. Nathan Fleming is your holder. There's the snap. Ball is down. Kick is up, and it is good. 6:55 in the second quarter. Your new score, Baker 28, Holmes County nothing. Back after this.
Once again, WTJT would like to say thank you to the Okaloosa County Teachers Federal Credit Union here in Baker. The Okaloosa County Teachers Federal Credit Union offers a wide variety of services. They have savings and investments, checking accounts, insurance, home banking, NADA vehicle values, as well as auto loans, mortgage loans, and they also offer online banking. The Okaloosa County Teachers Federal Credit Union is located at 1307 Georgia Avenue, right past the Gator Cafe in Baker, and can be reached by phone at 850-537-9815 or on the web at okaloosa.fcu.org.
And welcome back to Baker High School. After a 55-yard punt return by Junior McLaughlin, the Gators go up 28-0 with 6:55 left until the half. And Seth, you said it earlier, they're on pace to go up 84 points. As we mentioned, in Bonifay last year, the Gators won 35-6, and so far it's been a shutout. And set to kick off, it's Brian Holly, and 5 times in a row a pooch kick. And this time the catch is made on the far side by Stephen Russ, who goes out of bounds, it appears. And they're going to mark the ball this time. Looks like about the 42 42-yard line.
Yep, all right.
So
42, 43. Yeah.
Right. It is at the 42 of Holmes County, 1st and 10. Blue Devils with 6:54 to play in the first half, and so Seth, thus far the pooch kick 5 times straight, and it's worked for Baker because there's been no returns and no scores. And there's a new quarterback. This time it is number 16, Kalen Evans, is quarterbacking for the Blue Devils. Hands off to Wessner, who is stopped near the 44-yard line, or at the 44-yard line by the Baker defense.
And a little power run that time by Western, just trying to find a little hole, find some kind of gap to get through. He's able to find a little one, but again, it closes up quick, only able to get a couple yards.
Yeah. Caleb Simpler, Carter Mason, Devin Jordan, Sean McLeod, and Eric McQueen on that defensive front for the Gators, who prevent the long run. Evans back to pass, hits his man in stride. He drops the ball, and that was Redis, and he ran flat right into Nathan Fleming. 5 met 5, and the Baker number 5 was the winner that time. But, man, he hit his man right in motion, right in stride, and he was popped by Nathan Fleming.
Tried to get him on that post route there, and just like you said, immediately he was met by Fleming, and it looked like another Gator came in. I believe that was Kenny Williams and Trey Colmetz, and just popped the ball out of his hand. He had no chance of making that catch.
It brings up 3rd down and 8 yards from the Holmes County 44-yard line. Clock stops at 6:13. Baker 28, Holmes County nothing. And did we ever finish giving the starters for the defense? I don't remember, just to be honest with you.
Yeah, I believe we did. And just to reiterate, like you said on the line already, you see Baker run that 5 D-line front that's held down by Devin Jordan at nose tackle, Carter Mason, Sean McLeod, his tackles, Eric McQueen and Caleb Simpler, the ends. And then you have your right outside linebacker, Joe Brunson, middle linebacker, Kenny Williams, left outside linebacker, John Madaleska, cornerbacks, Derek Peoples, Nathan Fleming, and the free safety, Trey Colmetz.
And if they need it, punter is Rockwell, but so far have not. 3rd down, 8, and I believe Evans is still the quarterback for Holmes County. Looking to pass. He's being pursued. He's going to be brought down by that Baker defense. And that was number 60, Joshua Gamble, on the tackle.
And Gamble just blew by one of those defensive ends that just gets right off the tackle and immediately finds his way in the backfield. Quarterback just had no time to make any sort of throw. He did the best thing he could, which was tuck it, take the sack, and now they'll have a nice 4th and long for.
And that was a great textbook tackle by Joshua Gamble.
Great form.
It's now 4th and looks like 4th and 13 from the 40, and they are in punt formation. And this Lee and gives off another good punt that drives McLaughlin back inside his 20, but this time McLaughlin lets it roll, and that takes a great Holmes County roll down to about the 6-yard line. 5:10 to go, first half. Baker 28, Holmes County nothing. Back after this.
This radio ministry relies heavily upon its gracious supporters to survive, like Days Tire Pros in Crestview. In addition to tires with a national warranty, they have a complete car care center, providing brake jobs, front end and rear end alignments, oil change, lube and filter, shocks, belts, air conditioning, and so much more. Days is located where they've been for nearly 4 decades of service, on Highway 85 South, which is also home to Pack Rat Mini Storage. The phone number, 850-682-5088. Thanks, Kim and staff, for your support. Days Tire Pros, home of the hassle-free guarantee.
And welcome back to Baker High School. Baker on top, 28-0, but they are deep in their own territory, 6-yard line. Peyton Rockwell hands off to McLaughlin, and he is stopped by nearly the entire defensive front for Holmes County. And it looks like Kalen Evans makes the initial tackle.
And just another simple dive play up the middle there. That time the Holmes County defense read it perfectly and are able to stop McLaughlin for a pretty short gain.
Also Gage Lang on that tackle for the Blue Devils. It's about a 2-yard pickup. Brings up 2nd down, 8 for the Gators back at their 8-yard line. Clock rolling, 4:33 to go in this first half. And I believe this is the deepest the Gators have been in their own territory. after McLaughlin let that punt just roll down to about the 6-yard line. And now Rockwell, quarterback, keeper left side. He finds some room. He's across the 20-yard line and finally brought down near the 25-yard line by Holmes County. And a great run and a first down for Peyton Rockwell.
And nice little read option that time, and the Holmes County Devils have their eyes on McLaughlin in the backfield, keeping their eye on him, and then Rockwell's just able to follow his blocks up that left side, set the edge, and get a nice first down.
It is 1st and 10 Baker from their 21-yard line. 4:10 to go first half. Baker 28, Holmes County nothing. And Baker has scored on each possession this first half thus far and stopped Holmes County each of theirs. Now Rockwell pitches back to Junior McLaughlin. He finds a hole. He's across the 30, the 35, the 40, the 45, and finally brought down inside or near the midfield. Tackle is made once again by number 40. That's Jaden Mathis, who also got some help from Redis.
Another great run by McLaughlin. Just as soon as he gets outside, you better get your eye on him and better get to him as quick as you can because he'll make you pay in space. That time also he gets another good block by his wide receiver. I believe that was Brad Inscore. Sets the edge, and that's really been the key is setting those edges, letting McLaughlin get outside, and once he gets out there, he's dangerous.
About a 30-yard run by McLaughlin. It is 1st and 10 Gators at the Blue Devil 49-yard line. And now the clock was going to go haywire. I see 44 seconds and not sure how many minutes. Nonetheless, and now they have changed quarterbacks, and that is Sam Croson, the junior at quarterback. And now a flag comes in, and it looks like it's a legal shift against the Gators. And looks like Coach Matt Brunson is putting in some of his second stringers, for lack of a better term, but Sam Croson in their quarterback now replacing Peyton Rockwell.
It looks like I wasn't sure if on Peyton Rockwell's run to that outside, he came off the field immediately after that play. I wasn't sure if he was a little bit shaken up, but it's good to see looks like he's sitting up on the sideline over there okay. But now we'll get to see what the backup, Croson, who's also a very capable quarterback, is able to do with this offense.
And the clock is rolling, and the Gators are leading, and they're facing 1st and 15 back at their 46-yard line. And Sam Croson is under his center and hands off this time to John
Madaleska.
Thank you. And he stopped that time by number 20, Xavier Matthews of Holmes County.
That time Madaleska is trying to run off that left tackle, but Holmes County defense also showing off their speed and able to close on him quick and drop him down for about a 2 or 3 yard loss.
Is a loss back to the Baker 44-yard line, now facing 2nd down and 17. Clock is rolling. Gators up top 28-0. And Sam Croson remains quarterback for the Gators, facing 2nd down and 17 yards to go. Sam Croson looks to be changing the play. Goes back under his center. And hands off again. And this time, I believe that is that Peoples. That is Peoples on the carry. He's up back across the midfield, back to the original line of scrimmage before being stopped by the Blue Devils.
Oh, actually, I believe that was number 9, Joe Brunson.
That's who I said, Joe Brunson.
Correct. So now they'll get back to the original line of scrimmage. Another dive play, and Brunson keeping his footwork and able to get him back to that original line. And we'll see on this 3rd and long, maybe we might see Croson's arm here.
No, Peyton Rockwell is back in their quarterback now on 3rd down and 10. And he drops back into shotgun formation, or actually pistol formation, looks like. Running back behind him there to block. Peyton again going deep downfield for Inscore. Another great catch by Inscore. He's to the 10, the 5, and finally brought down by number 4, Clayton Bush. But that's almost back-to-back passes from Rockwell to Inscore. A great arm, but what great hands by Inscore, making an incredible catch, under pressure like that.
And that was a carbon copy of that play that they ran earlier. And again, it was working perfect. Inscore's got great hands, great instincts. He's able to get past his man, able to create some separation. And then Rockwell obviously throws a dart on the money. Inscore's able to get a great first down.
First and goal from the 5, and Rockwell hands off to Joe Brunson. And a flag comes down, and it looks like there may have been some little extra shoving and pushing there by the Holmes County defense. That was Stephen Bush, who has not fared too well on the pooch kicks tonight, and now may have a flag for rough or just not sure what that penalty is, Seth.
Possibly some unnecessary roughness. It looks like him and Inscore have been gnawing at each other just a little bit, maybe some friendly rivalry. That time it might have got just a little bit too extracurricular, and so that'll help the Gators obviously get a little bit closer.
And the clock is showing 1:18 left in this first half. Baker on top 28-0. And it is first and goal. The ball is placed just inside the 5 at the 3-yard line. Peyton Rockwell remains quarterback. He is under his center, Oglesby. And he hands off to John
Madaleska.
Thank you. And it's a touchdown, Baker Gators, with 1 minute to play in the first half.
And that's about as easy as a touchdown as you're going to get. Madaleska had a hole that even you or I possibly could have run through. Scores a nice touchdown for the Gators.
Thank you. And a flag. I don't know if it was 2 flags or the same flag thrown twice, but it's another flag. And that unsportsmanlike conduct may be halting Holmes County once again. Some of the players pleading their case with the referees. But, Seth, I've learned you don't win many, if any, arguments with the men in black and white stripes.
Hardly ever. You can plead your case as much as you want, and it makes for good entertainment for them, but they already know what kind of decision they're going to make, and this time it's looking like they're taking some notes of their own. We'll see.
Okay, wait to see who the head official, the guy in the white hat, the call he's making. And Seth, it looks like it's going against the Gators. Unsportsman on both teams. And then was it a holding call possibly on the Gators as well? And now they march back and forth, and now the referees settle at the 9-yard line of Holmes County.
Still making some signs. We'll see what they landed on. So that is going to be the touchdown will stand, it looks like.
It does stand, and now they'll try the extra point from back. The ball be placed at the 15-yard line.
So offsetting personal fouls, and then I guess one extra personal foul on the Gators that's going to cost them that 15 yards. And we'll get to see Holly's leg here.
Nathan Fleming is the holder. There's the snap. Ball is put down. The kick is up. And it's no good, though. It just to the right. So with a minute to play until the half, your new score is Baker 34, Holmes County nothing. Back after this.
Attention WTJT listeners. For us to stay on the air, it takes the support of friends like Baker Tire Center. Baker Tire Center is now a Goodyear tire dealer, but they still have a wide range and variety of all the different brands. From economy to luxury tires, from street to mud tires, they handle all tire needs, including flat repairs, mount and balance, rotate and balance, alignments, brake pads, shocks, tune-ups, AC work, and much more. Baker Tire Center also offers standard synthetic and diesel oil changes, as well as transmission, coolant, power steering, and brake services. Baker Tire Center is located at 5768 Highway 4 in Baker, and the phone number is 850-537-4002. Open Monday through Friday from 7:30 to 5, 7 to 12 on Saturday. Available on Google and Facebook. Baker Tire Center, now a Goodyear tire dealer in Baker, offering 12-month interest-free financing and a 24-month, 24,000-mile warranty.
And the pooch kick by Holly goes out of bounds this time.
It looks like they went ahead and decided to let this one go. This one might have been a little bit too high for any of the Holmes County Blue Devils to get a hold of. So they'll gladly take this illegal procedure and start out again with great field position.
And Seth, I watched Jaden Mathis of Holmes County put a lick on Nolan Watson. Just kind of put him on his backside. And anyway, the officials marked the ball at the 47-yard line, and the clock still shows 1 minute, but it's Baker 34 and Holmes County nothing.
Well, that was just playing to the whistle. He hadn't heard the whistle yet as far as he knew the ball was live, so he's just making a nice little block. Nothing extracurricular this time. That's good.
And it looks like they may be some substitutions on defense now. See some younger players, some different numbers out there. And Holmes County trying to draw the offsides, and I think they may have. Quarterback, once again, is now Tyler Lee. He's back in there quarterback. It's a 5-yard penalty. Brings up 1st and 5 for Holmes County at the Baker 48.
I believe that was Josh Gamble, the new nose tackle that's come in. Just got a little bit edgy, decided to make a little jump. But.
Well, when you're not used to playing, first string, and you get excited and everything, you just ready to hit somebody. Lee back to pass, another whistle. And it's legal procedure this time against Holmes County.
Well, that'll offset the offsides, and we'll be back to a 1st and 10.
And the clock is stopped at 59 seconds until the half. Baker on top, 34-0. And now it's once again 1st and 10 Holmes County from their 47-yard line.
And now the Blue Devils still have 2 timeouts, so I'm curious to see if they'll try some passes downfield, maybe work the sideline a little bit, and use that last minute that they have to try to put some points on the board going into halftime.
Well, once again, they come out in shotgun formation. Lee back to pass. Good protection. He's hit as he lets the ball go, and it sails way over the head of his intended receiver. That was Ranger Pitts.
That time the defensive end for the Gators was able to get in the backfield pretty quick, put a lot of pressure on Tyler Lee. So it's very impressive that Lee actually got that ball off in time and almost in the hands of number 5, the cornerback, Nathan Fleming.
54 seconds until the half. Now 2nd down 10 for Holmes County back at their 47-yard line. And they stay in shotgun formation, and your quarterback remains Tyler Lee. He's got 1 setback and 3 receivers. Goes to the air again. It's tipped at the line of scrimmage. I believe that was Medaleska that tipped the ball. And it goes incomplete, brings up 3rd down and 10 for the Blue Devils.
Great play by Medaleska, keeping his head on a swivel. He's right there at the line, sees the quarterback release, just gets his hands up and alters the pass enough to prevent that completion. We're seeing some more great defense here from the Gators as the Blue Devils are in an obvious passing situation.
50 seconds until the half, and now 3rd down and 10 for Holmes County back at their 47-yard line. And now, some of the backup players in there for the Gators, and they're showing that they can play with the big boys. Absolutely. Lee, good snap, back to pass, under pressure, gets the ball off, and it goes incomplete, and nearly intercepted that time by Derek Peoples.
And Peoples playing some zone defense there. He's keeping his eyes on the quarterback the whole time, reads him the whole way, and just nearly makes an interception there. Great play by this Gator defense. 3 straight plays, 3 straight incompletions.
And brings up 4th and 10 for the Blue Devils back at their 47. Clock showing 46 seconds until halftime. Now, Tyler Lee is the quarterback. He's also the punter, and they're in a punt formation. But, what do you do here?
I think they're going to play it safe. You might as well go ahead and punt, not give the Gators any extra yardage that they don't need. They've already proven tonight they can drive downfield. Punt them deep.
Indeed, the correct call, Seth. As Peoples is back there, but he lets it go, and it's going to once again roll deep into Gator territory, down at the 11-yard line. 34-0 back after this.
WTJT would like to thank Jason Norton and Baker Metalworks for allowing us to bring live Baker Gator football coverage to the listeners of WTJT. Baker Metalworks offers a large variety of colors, and they are all Energy Star rated. They have 4 profile styles with 29 and 26 gauge. They also have delivery available, and all of their materials are Florida product approved. Baker Metalworks is located at 5846 Highway 189 in Baker. They can be reached by phone at 850-537-2010. Thanks again to Baker Metalworks for all of your support here at WTJT.
And welcome back to Baker High School. 34-0, the Gators on top. And they are down back at the 11-yard line, deep in their territory. 28 seconds until the half.
And the Gators were lined up in victory formation there. I went ahead and took a knee, and I think they're going to let this clock run out and go into the half with a very sizable lead.
Indeed, you are correct, Seth. That is what they do. And that's going to end the first half here at Doug Griffith Memorial Stadium. And your halftime score in this season opener is the Baker Gators 34, Holmes County Blue Devils nothing. Back after this.
Hi, this is Tony from Baker Feed and Country Store. The Baker Gator football season is back, and we are proud supporters of WTJT's live Baker Gator football program. Baker Feed and Country Store has all your fall food plot, seed, and fertilizer needs, along with corn, rice bran, pellets, and blocks. We carry Justin boots, belts, wallets, and Wrangler jeans. Baker Feed and Country Store is located on the right at the light in downtown Baker and can be reached by phone 537-1000. Again, that's 537-1000. Go Gators!
WTJT and the Baker Gators are proud to recognize Baker Parts in downtown Baker as a sponsor of live coverage of Baker Gator football. Baker Parts has auto parts and hardware for all household needs. Baker Parts is located at 1304 Georgia Avenue in Baker, and their phone number is 537-3131 or 537-4231. Thanks, Danny, and all the staff at Baker Parts for helping to make coverage of Baker Gator football possible on WTJT.
WTJT would like to send a special thanks to CCSI of Crestview, Florida. It's businesses like you, through all your support, that makes this live coverage of the Baker Gators Friday Night Football possible.
One of our sponsors this year for our live coverage of Baker Gator varsity football is Wise Equipment in Crestview. Wise Equipment specializes in sales and services of Kubota and John Deere mowers and tractors. They carry Steel and John Deere chainsaws, line trimmers, and blowers. Plus, they have John Deere toys. All products are backed by a manufacturer's warranty. Wise Equipment is located at 1147 South Ferdon Boulevard in Crestview and can be reached at 850-682-3366.
And welcome back to Baker High School inside Doug Griffith Memorial Stadium for tonight's season opener between the Baker Gators and the Holmes County Blue Devils. And Mark Forehand with you along with Seth Forehand. And Seth, it's been 5 years since we have been in this broadcast booth together, and things just kind of got hectic to begin with, but just want to say, thanks to our listeners. It's good to be back with them. Good to be teamed up with you once again, and just glad to be here. So, Seth, our halftime score is Baker 34, Holmes County nothing. And what's your thoughts on the first half?
I mean, just an impressive first half by these Baker Gators. They came out on fire. They went three straight possessions and scored touchdowns. Had that one mishap with the fumble, but then the punt return for a touchdown, and then one final touchdown before the half was over. And they've just made the most of every opportunity they've had. Obviously, Junior McLaughlin has just been a stud. He's already run for 3 touchdowns, and he had that 4th touchdown, which was a punt return. And now the backup's even coming in. John Madaleska, one of the running backs, who's also a starting linebacker on the Gator defense, coming in and making a great run for a touchdown. So these Gators are coming out strong, and it's looking very promising for them tonight.
And don't forget 2 long passes from Peyton Rockwell to Inscore.
Yeah, correct. Inscore's had some
Brad
great
Inscore,
hands.
Brad Inscore. Yeah, 2 great catches and covering roughly nearly about 40 yards. Both time I'm impressed by Peyton's arm, but Inscore making the grab in coverage, sometimes in double coverage, and he makes the grab. He makes Peyton look good, and Peyton makes him look good, and it's just a great combination. I would love to see more passing plays from Peyton to Inscore. I mean, what a great combination.
Yeah, and the thing is, they haven't had to do that because the running game has just been so successful, and that's the thing with Coach Brunson. As long as that play is successful, he's going to keep using it, and that's why they've run the toss play at least 10 to 15 times here tonight. And McLaughlin, and just as soon as he's able to get outside, find any kind of crease, any kind of space, he just goes for several yards, and that's brought most of their big plays have been those long runs from Junior McLaughlin. That one by Derek Peoples, that nice sweep that he got to the 1 yard line before he was taken down. Just some great speed that we're seeing from this offense, and it's very exciting to see and to anticipate what they're going to do the rest of this year.
Right, McLaughlin with 4 touchdowns, and Madalesko with the other touchdown, and the 2 missed extra points, but the 2-point conversion, and your halftime score is Baker 34, Holmes County nothing. Didn't get a chance to touch on this, but this is Matt Brunson's 8th year as head coach of the Baker Gators. And Seth, for the past 7 years, each season has ended with a winning record. His worst year, 2012, 6 wins, 4 losses. 6-4 is still a winning record. Absolutely. And over the past 5 years, he has averaged 11 wins per season. The past 7 years, he's averaged almost 10 wins per season. And we'll talk about it, throughout the season and more tonight as we get a chance to. But, Coach Brunson has been successful at every level of high school football. Back when he was a team manager, a player on the state championship teams in the mid-'80s, an assistant coach here under Jeff Webb, the defensive coordinator he was, won a state championship, won one in college, the national championship Division II at Troy.
Yes.
He led the Bulldogs, Crestview Bulldogs, to their first and only state championship appearance back in 2002. And then 2 seasons ago, took the Gators all the way down to Orlando, and they lost to Pahokee 34-21. But, that's just a kind of a brief, quick, history. But, Coach Brunson, and he'll be the first to say, well, it's my coaches, it's my staff, it's players. He'll give the credit elsewhere because that's the kind of person he is. But just done a great job here at Baker for the past 7 years, and I look for the same this year, starting off pretty good so far.
I would say so. Yeah, like you said, very humble, but obviously he has produced a winning culture here. His players respect him. They play hard for him, and obviously you can see a lot of passion out there tonight. They're just playing some great football, and that all starts with your coaching. And obviously Coach also has some great staff coaches that are doing great at all their other positions. So it's great to see Coach Brunson in this 7 years has just brought Baker back to a level of prominence to where these fans, obviously a lot of fans turn out tonight at packed stadium. Mm-hmm. Baker fans are expecting Baker to be prominent and to be back in the state championship picture every year. They want to see him in the playoffs.
Exactly.
And with this kind of production from Coach Brunson, I believe that's something we're going to keep seeing.
Well, he has had 3 undefeated seasons, has led the Gators to the semis 3 times straight. And I see no reason, Seth, I have no doubt that Matt Brunson, his coaches and staff, can lead these young men to that promised land once again, and maybe this year a state title. Of course, there's a lot of football to be played, still a lot of games down the road, but it's always fun to anticipate, the brand new season.
Absolutely.
We're going to take a break and bring you the SEC halftime report, and be right back after this.
Welcome into episode 231 of SEC Smothered and Covered. My name is Barrett Salee. Appreciate you checking out the show. If you listened last week, you know where we're going this week. Of course, last Thursday, we talked about the top quarterbacks in terms of the top 4 in the SEC. Now we're going to go top 4 running backs, not only right now, but for other players who can become superstars in 2018. We'll also take your listener questions via Twitter. Follow me on Twitter at Barrett Salee, 2 R's, 2 T's, 2 L's, 2 E's. Always send me questions. I like every single one. I save them. If I don't use them next episode, I'm sure to use them down the line. Don't forget to subscribe on iTunes and Apple Podcasts. Make sure you share that link across your favorite form of social media. But like I said, we are talking running backs this episode, and specifically the top 4 running backs in the SEC right now and 4 other running backs who could become stars. And the guy that's number 1 in my list right now, right this very instant, is Damian Harris. I don't understand why Damian Harris doesn't get the love that he deserves. 1,000 yards last year, 1,037 2 years ago. Everybody got caught up in the Bo Scarborough hype. Everybody loved Bo Scarborough going into last year. Guess who the number 1 running back was? It was Damian Harris. He's a leader. He's a proven winner. He is a guy who, from a reliability standpoint, there isn't much better in the world of college football than Damian Harris. And I think in terms of what a benefit he will be to the Alabama Crimson Tide, he's the guy who probably will be the MVP of the Alabama Crimson Tide if they win the SEC. And the reason is very simple. Whether it be Tua, whether it be Jalen, you need a running game. And Damian provides that running game. And now with Tua, it's with a little bit of a different scheme, of course, with the zone read and more of a mobile quarterback. And with Tua, it's more as a strict downhill runner, which we've seen from Damian Harris throughout his career, and also as a pass blocker. So you know he's going to stay in the lineup. He's going to play every single down in important situations until he needs a break. I know Najee Harris is great. I understand the hype. I get it. I agree with it. But it's Damian Harris's show. And he is the true number one until A, he proves he's ineffective, or B, he gets hurt. It's that simple. Because even though Nick Saban is going to, I think, expand the offense with Tua Tagovailoa, presumably as a starting quarterback, that actually plays into Damian's hands because what he does best is work between the tackles and work as a pass blocker. And that's what Tua brings. Therefore, that's what Damian Harris will bring. Number 2 on our list, and here's a guy who I don't think from a publicity standpoint really ever gets the love that he deserves, and that's Benny Snell. Now, I know, Kentucky is not at all a sexy team. In fact, in terms of sexy SEC teams, it's probably second only to Vanderbilt in terms of really just teams you don't really pay attention to. But Benny Snell last year, over 1,300 yards, 19 touchdowns, led the SEC, one ahead of Kerryon Johnson. He averaged over 5 yards per carry for a Kentucky team that really, I mean, from an offensive line standpoint, yeah, they were halfway decent, but no one's scared of that offensive line. Everybody knew Benny Snell was the focal point, and yet he still ran for over 1,300 yards, over 5 yards per carry. That's better than Kerryon Johnson, had more touchdowns than Kerryon Johnson. He's a legit star. And I know he got banged up, and we all know that, and he didn't really play in the spring, and that's fine. But if you're Kentucky, he's the one guy who you trust. Now, you might trust Dorian Baker outside at wide receiver if presumably he comes back healthy, and all signs point to him being healthy. But your focal point, your centerpiece is Benny Snell. It was going to be Benny Snell anyway, but with a new quarterback and Dorian Baker presumably being your number one wide receiver, but really no known commodity after that, don't you have to think that Benny Snell will at least, at the very worst, repeat what he did last year and perhaps even exceed it because he will get the ball more, because he will be the guy who the offense is built around? I think he will. Third up on our list of best running backs in the SEC right this very instant, DeAndre Swift. Now, I know what folks will say. Hey, look, this guy has very little experience, but check out what he did. I don't think people recognize how good DeAndre Swift was. 81 carries, 618 yards, over 7.5 yards per carry, 3 touchdowns, and then as a receiver, he wasn't half bad either, 153 yards and a touchdown. That was behind Sony and Chubb. I get that, and that's fine. But DeAndre Swift, and this is a stat that I don't know if people recognized, but Pro Football Focus, their college site, I should say, put this on Twitter last week. DeAndre Swift had 81 carries last year, yet averaged 4.38 yards after contact on those carries. That's 8th best among returning running backs in FBS. 8th best after contact. That tells me that DeAndre Swift is ready to roll. That tells me that DeAndre Swift is ready to not miss a beat because he was great last year. He was great last year in a reserve role at times. He was great last year in a little bit of a different role in conjunction with the running backs last year. So DeAndre Swift, I think, in terms of upside, it's obvious. Now, he could be in the guys who can erupt later on in the show, but I think he already did. I think that proves that he is a guy who not only will be trusted at Georgia, but already is trusted. And when you factor in the fact that you're not going to have Sony and Nick Chubb, he's the number one guy. He's the guy who, when it comes to running the offense, he's going to be the one who you run it through. And so I like him now. I like him more in the future. And that's why I think you see DeAndre Swift in a lot of these Heisman rankings or preseason Heisman odds, because when it comes to running backs, yeah, you look around and there's Jonathan Taylor at Wisconsin, and there are some other guys, and that's fine. J.K. Dobbins at Ohio State's in that mix, but if you can get odds on DeAndre Swift, then you want to roll the dice, and I think any running back for the Heisman is a dice roll because it's a quarterback-driven award, but DeAndre Swift's a pretty good guy to roll your dice on. Now, he's going to probably share a little bit of love nationally with his quarterback, Jake Fromm. That's fine, but DeAndre Swift proved it last year. He'll prove it even further in 2018. And last up in our list of top 4 running backs in the SEC, and I don't think people recognize or remember how good Jordan Scarlett was, but it's Jordan Scarlett. 13 games 2 years ago, almost 900 yards, 6 touchdowns, over 5 yards per carry. That was 2 years ago for the Florida Gators. And yes, they won the SEC East that year. Their offensive line was terrible. Their quarterback play was terrible. Their wide receivers were terrible. The only player on that offense was Jordan Scarlett. He was the only player worth a damn on that offense. And he's the reason Florida played in the SEC championship game. He's the reason that they at least had a shot. They were 60 minutes away from springing an upset. He is the reason that Jim McElwain kept his job. And when you factor in Michael Pirine and potentially Malik Davis and some other guys, and that he's not going to be asked to do what he did 2 years ago. He's going to be put in much more advantageous situations. He's going to be put in a situation where, hey, look, you go do your thing. We'll work off play action. He's got a better offensive line, and he's got playmakers now who are way more established than they were 2 years ago when they really didn't exist. So I don't think people remember Jordan Scarlett. I don't think people recognize how good he was 2 years ago. And the year-long suspension, I think there's some thought out there that, hey, look, he might not be back at 100%, or he might not be what he used to be. And I understand that. That's fine. That's a valid concern. But until he proves that he isn't where he was, I'm going to assume that he's there because the work he did 2 years ago deserves more respect than it's getting. Until next time, enjoy your week, everybody.
We are proud to acknowledge the support of Whitehurst Powell Funeral Home in Crestview. They are a family-owned and operated funeral home, open 7 days a week, and can handle all funeral needs. Plus, they offer advanced planning. Whitehurst Powell is also home to the Southern Heritage Crematory. They are located at 436 James Lee Boulevard, and the phone number is 850-682-3052. Owner Andy Powell is committed to caring for you in your time of need, and is also proud to help make coverage of Baker Gator football possible.
Once again, WTJT would like to say thank you to the Okaloosa County Teachers Federal Credit Union here in Baker. The Okaloosa County Teachers Federal Credit Union offers a wide variety of services. They have savings and investments, checking accounts, insurance, home banking, NADA vehicle values, as well as auto loans, mortgage loans, and they also offer online banking. The Okaloosa County Teachers Federal Credit Union is located at 1307 Georgia Avenue, right past the Gator Cafe in Baker, and can be reached by phone at 850-537-9815 or on the web at okaloosa.fcu.org.
WTJT would like to thank Harris Fence of Baker, Florida for their support of WTJT and live coverage of Baker Gator football. Harris Fence offers a wide range of fencing services and supplies which include chain link, galvanized or vinyl coated, wood, privacy or picket, PVC, privacy, 3-rail, etc., and ornamental aluminum. They also offer various styles and brands. They do residential, commercial, and industrial work as well as offer free estimates and military and senior citizen discounts. Harris Fence is fully licensed and insured, and they have been serving Okaloosa, Walton, and Santa Rosa County for 21 years with 35 years experience. They are also a member of the Better Business Bureau. Harris Fence is located at 1588 Garrett Mill Road in Baker, Florida, and they can also be contacted by phone at 537-6169. Thanks again to Harris Fence and James and Rebecca Harris for your support of WTJT and our local football team.
This radio ministry relies heavily upon its gracious supporters to survive, like Days Tire Pros in Crestview. In addition to tires with a national warranty, they have a complete car care center, providing brake jobs, front end and rear end alignments, oil change, lube and filter, shocks, belts, air conditioning, and so much more. Days is located where they've been for nearly 4 decades of service, on Highway 85 South, which is also home to Pack Rat Mini Storage. The phone number, 850-682-5088. Thanks, Kim and staff, for your support. Days Tire Pros, home of the hassle-free guarantee.
WTJT would like to send a special thanks to CCSI of Crestview, Florida. It's businesses like you, through all your support, that makes this live coverage of the Baker Gators Friday Night Football possible.
WTJT and the Baker Gators are proud to recognize Baker Parts in downtown Baker as a sponsor of live coverage of Baker Gator football. Baker Parts has auto parts and hardware for all household needs. Baker Parts is located at 1304 Georgia Avenue in Baker, and their phone number is 537-3131 or 537-4231. Thanks, Danny, and all the staff at Baker Parts for helping to make coverage of Baker Gator football possible on WTJT.
And welcome back to Baker High School inside Doug Griffith Memorial Stadium. Mark Forehand, Seth Forehand with you on this opening season for Baker Gator High School football. And the Gators up top as we begin the third quarter, 34-0. And for the first time tonight, Holmes County kicking off, and there's a flag right off the bat, Seth.
Did you see that's delay a game on the Gators? I guess the Gators did not line up in their spots quite quick enough, and that might cost them a few yards. That's a first for me. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Delay a game on the kickoff is very rare. Nonetheless, Holmes County is set to kick off, and I believe that is number 22 kicking off for Holmes County. That is Bubba Duncan. And back deep is Joe Brunson, it looks like, or is that Nathan Fleming, Seth?
Joe Brunson, and it looks like Derek Peebles.
It is. And it will be Joe Brunson at his 15, 20. Getting a few blocks here. He's to the 25, still going, and pulled down at the 27-yard line. And the tackle is made by Gage Lang of Holmes County.
Looks like we have another flag here.
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
We'll see what the Whitehead has to say about this one.
Yeah. I'm sure Matt Brunson is happy about all those yellow flags out there.
First game.
First game,
a lot of
that's
stuff
right.
getting worked out. We'll see.
Exactly.
Block in the bag, it looks like, on the Gators. So that's going to negate that nice return from Joe Brunson.
Just underway, 34-0. I want to say thanks to all of our listeners tuned in tonight. So they place the ball back at the 17-yard line, 1st and 10 Baker. Peyton Rockwell remains at the quarterback position. In the backfield is Joe Brunson. And for the one of the few times tonight, Seth, Rockwell in shotgun quickly passes out to Peoples. Makes the grab. He's across the 20-yard line before being tackled.
And a nice little wide receiver screen there to Peoples. And Peoples using his speed, able to pick up a good little 5 yards. Give the Gators a second and short.
It is second down, then about 5 from the 22-yard line. 11:28 in the third quarter. Baker up top. And interesting, Seth, in the first half, Rockwell under center most of the night. Tonight, at the second half, he's in shotgun, looking downfield, hits in-score. In-score gets by one man. He's to the 30, 35, and finally shoved out of bounds near the 40-yard line. And that time, the combination of Rockwell in-score Again, a third completion tonight for that combination.
He's able to hit in-score nice out there in the flat, and in-score just using his feet, a little shifty, makes a move to the outside, able to get an easy first down for the Gators.
It is 1st and 10 Baker from their 38-yard line. 11:05 to go in the third quarter, and the Gators up top 34-0. Again, shotgun formation, and it's Peyton Rockwell. Drops back to pass. Good protection. Now he's having to scramble. He runs left, tucks the ball away. He's across the 40, the 45, and finally shoved out of bounds on the far side of the field.
And then we got to see Rockwell using his feet. He's under some heavy pressure, but is able to use those long legs, finds a little hole to the outside, and turns what could have been about a 10-yard sack into about a 7-yard gain.
Brings up 2nd down and 3 for the Gators at their 45-yard line. 10:35 in this third quarter. And this time, Rockwell goes under center Dustin Oglesby and hands off to Joe Brunson. Joe Brunson finds some open ground, and he's out across the 40-yard line before being shoved out of bounds on the far side of the field. So a great run by Joe Brunson.
Yeah, good run there by Joe Brunson, who's been on defense making some good hits, and now he's making some hits of his own from the running back position. Gets a great run down the sideline. Again, just finding some great holes from this offensive line. Another easy first down, and the Gators once again threatening in Holmes County territory.
1st and 10 at the Holmes County 40. Rockwell hands off to Joe Brunson left side, and Joe this time runs into a big man from Holmes County, and that's big number 40, Jaden Mathis for Holmes County.
And Mathis with a solid tackle. Joe, meet Jaden, and he did.
He does pick up 1 yard, 2nd down 9 from the 39-yard line. 9:44 to go in the third. Baker on top, dominating 34-0 over Holmes County. Now shotgun formation. Peyton goes to the air, going deep downfield. He has his man in stride. That is Derek Peoples. Touchdown, Baker Gators.
And another impressive throw from Peyton Rockwell, showing off an arm that we haven't got to see very often, but every time he's thrown it, he's throwing darts. And that time hits Peoples on a swing route as he goes up that sideline. Perfect stride, easy touchdown. The Gators are just making it look too easy out there tonight.
An over-the-shoulder catch by Derek Peoples, and very impressive, just outruns the defensive coverage back there. And, wow, what a play. So now the Gators up top 40-0, 9 minutes to go in the third quarter. And once again, now it looks like Brian Holly on for the extra point. Nathan Fleming is the holder.
And I guess at this point you're content to get 1 point, leading 40-0.
Exactly. It's a bobble snap. Fleming picks up the ball. He's going to run for the 2-point conversion. It is good.
I spoke too soon.
So what a bobbled kick. A bobble snap. But Nathan Fleming takes the ball and just runs right into the end zone and makes the 2-point conversion. 8:19 to go in the third quarter, and it's Baker 42, Holmes County nothing, back after this.
Attention WTJT listeners. For us to stay on the air, it takes the support of friends like Baker Tire Center. Baker Tire Center is now a Goodyear tire dealer, but they still have a wide range and variety of all the different brands. From economy to luxury tires, from street to mud tires, they handle all tire needs, including flat repairs, mount and balance, rotate and balance, alignments, brake pads, shocks, tune-ups, AC work, and much more. Baker Tire Center also offers standard synthetic and diesel oil changes, as well as transmission, coolant, power steering, and brake services. Baker Tire Center is located at 5768 Highway 4 in Baker, and the phone number is 850-537-4002. Open Monday through Friday from 7:30 to 5, 7 to 12 on Saturday. Available on Google and Facebook. Baker Tire Center, now a Goodyear tire dealer in Baker, offering 12-month interest-free financing and a 24-month, 24,000-mile warranty.
And it's now 42-0. The Gators on top of the Blue Devils. And a pooch kick by Brian Holly. And this one sails out of bounds as well. So the pooch kick has been about half and half tonight, Seth. It's been good most of the night, but the last 2 times it's gone out of bounds.
Half inbounds, half out of bounds. And they are getting a little bit shorter, too. I think that one went out about the Holmes County 45. So, again, Holmes County with good field position as they've had most of the night. Most of their starting possessions have been averaging probably right there, what about their 40-yard line? So we'll see if they can drive down 60 yards and maybe erase that goose egg.
Well, they're going to start this time with the Baker 48 and now an official timeout for a water break. Baker 42, Holmes County nothing, and we'll take a break. Be right back after this.
WTJT would like to thank Jason Norton and Baker Metalworks for allowing us to bring live Baker Gator football coverage to the listeners of WTJT. Baker Metalworks offers a large variety of colors, and they are all Energy Star rated. They have 4 profile styles with 29 and 26 gauge. They also have delivery available, and all of their materials are Florida product approved. Baker Metalworks is located at 5846 Highway 189 in Baker. They can be reached by phone at 850-537-2010. Thanks again to Baker Metalworks for all of your support here at WTJT.
And welcome back after an official timeout for a water break. Holmes County sets up 1st and 10 at the Baker 48. And once again, set that scoreboard clock is going haywire. So anyway, handoff is to Western. He goes nowhere, brought down in the backfield.
Looks like we got some more flags on the play.
And that was Eric McQueen making the sack in the backfield. But as you said, more flags, so we will await the decision of the guys in stripes.
Regardless, though, another great job by this Gator defensive line, just blowing through their blocks and getting in the backfield immediately. The ball carriers just have nowhere to run tonight.
And looks like it's going against Holmes County, still trying to figure out just what the flag is for. And the clock, as I mentioned, is showing the seconds but not the minutes here in the 3rd quarter. So, Seth, I guess we're all having issues on this first night of high school football, but just want to say thank you to all of you for listening and staying with us through all of this.
Absolutely. Still, regardless, another great night of football. Isn't it great just to be back in the fall, back during football season where Friday nights are spent here at high school and Saturday mornings and all day long are spent with college football.
Exactly. College football kicking off next weekend, Thursday night, and then the NFL in a couple of weeks. But right now, this weekend, is all high school football. And now it looks like head coach Matt Brunson going to meet the head official out on the field. And still not sure what the issue is here. But it's a short conversation between Coach Brunson and the head official.
And we're about to get our answer right here.
Unsportsmanlike conduct, and there is an ejection on Holmes County.
Correct.
I wish we could give you right. I'm sorry, Seth. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't see which player he ejected. There has been a little bit during this game. We've mentioned a couple of times a little bit of jawing back and forth, and there have been a couple of unsportsmanlike conduct penalties earlier in the game, and I'm not sure if there are rules in high school football about that. If you get two of those against you, if you're ejected, or how many you get before there's an ejection, or how flagrant it has to be for an ejection. But obviously this was bad enough that Holmes County is going to lose one of their men tonight.
And lose yardage there. They marched the ball all the way back to the Holmes County 37-yard line. And it's 2nd down and about 30 yards to go, looks like. So the Blue Devils in shotgun formation. Tyler Lee hands off, keeps the ball, and he is sacked and taken down by Caleb Simpler. The ball came loose, but he was already down. But what a great play by Caleb Simpler on that sack of Tyler Lee.
And Simpler just swims around the tackle and immediately has his hands on the quarterback. Quarterback's going nowhere once he gets in that death grip, and the Gator just rolls him down, rolls him over, and another loss of yards. This is going to be about a 3rd and 30-something.
The ball is placed back at the Holmes County 34. Clock is rolling. We're at 40 seconds and some odd minutes, but anyway, it's 42-0. And again, Blue Devils stay in that shotgun formation with a single setback and 3 receivers. Lee, good protection. Then he gets sacked. And once again, that is Caleb Simpler, back-to-back sacks for Caleb Simpler on Tyler Lee, and he has dropped back near the 25-yard line, so now it's 4th and about a county acre.
And Simpler looked like he was just about untouched as he made his way into the backfield. Lee had just a few seconds to get that ball out, doesn't see the pressure in time, and Simpler just makes another great sack. And now it's going to be 4th, and like you said, about a country mile.
Well, they have to get to the Baker 38 for a first down, and they are back at their 25-yard line. So that's about 37 yards roughly. And the punter also is the quarterback, Tyler Lee, and he gives off a dandy punt. It will bounce at the Baker 45, and Derek Peoples just stands there and lets it roll to the Baker 35-yard line. So the Gators back on offense, back after this, up 42-0.
Hi, this is Tony from Baker Feed and Country Store. The Baker Gator football season is back, and we are proud supporters of WTJT's live Baker Gator football program. Baker Feed and Country Store has all your fall food plot, seed, and fertilizer needs, along with corn, rice bran, pellets, and blocks. We carry Justin boots, belts, wallets, and Wrangler jeans. Baker Feed and Country Store is located on the right at the light in downtown Baker and can be reached by phone 537-1000. Again, that's 537-1000. Go Gators!
And welcome back to Baker High School. The Gators 1st and 10 from their 35-yard line. They're up 42-0, and now Sam Croson is back in at quarterback. I formation for the Gators. Croson under center and hands off to his running back, and I believe that is Sean McLeod, and he goes nowhere, Seth. Dropped almost immediately there at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, trying the fullback dive there. That time the offensive line didn't get a good push, and Holmes County got a much better push, able to get him immediately, stop him at the line of scrimmage.
Tackle made by Bryce Etheridge.
Oh, looks like they blew the whistle apparently before the snap, and that was a delay of game. Gators didn't get that play started in time, so it's going to be 1st and 15 now from the 30-yard line.
Okay. So 1st and 15 for the Gators back at their 30-yard line, as Seth mentioned. And Sam Croson is the new Baker quarterback, as Coach Brunson sending in some of his backup players now. I formation, Sam is under center. And this time hands off, I believe that's Garrett Mitchum who grabs the ball this time, Seth, and he's out across the 25-yard line.
Yeah, Garrett Mitchum coming in at that fullback position, takes the handoff, quickly finds a hole. That time the Gators did get a better push. Still not quite enough, but he's able to get back to the original line of scrimmage. Now the Gators will work with a 2nd long.
2nd down, 9. The ball just outside the 35-yard line. And now we're under 1 minute to go in the 3rd quarter.
And that play clock running down again. They might end up with another delay of game right here as we go 5.
They've got 5 seconds. They better get this ball off. I don't think they're going to make it, Seth. And they will not make it. And that's, one of the good, bad things. You get a chance to play some of your backup guys, but the inexperience sometimes shows, with the game clock. But nonetheless, it will make it now 2nd down and 14 for Baker from their 31-yard line.
It looks like they were struggling getting the play from Coach Brunson to Sam and then to the rest of the team, and they were still in the huddle right at about 10 seconds and just couldn't line up in time. And now the clock's running again. They're still in the huddle with about 15 seconds.
Shane White comes in at receiver. Joe Brunson in the backfield, along with Garrett Mitchum at fullback, and Sam Croson under center. Sam Croson now, he rolls right, look at the pass. Now he puts the ball away, and he's going to be thrown out of bounds to the 30-yard line. And a nice tackle that time by Holmes County by Gage Lang.
And it looks like they were trying to run a little play-action bootleg there. Sam got a little held up, looked like one of his backs ran into him, slowed him up a little bit. Had he been able to get free in time, he had a man, that was Shane White, running downfield on the streak, and we might have got a chance to see Sam's arm, but Holmes County closed on it quick and dragged him out of bounds for a loss.
Yeah, I believe that Sam ran into Garrett Mitchum. That's the end of the 3rd quarter. Our score is Baker 42, Holmes County nothing. Back after this.
WTJT and the Baker Gators are proud to recognize Baker Parts in downtown Baker as a sponsor of live coverage of Baker Gator football. Baker Parts has auto parts and hardware for all household needs. Baker Parts is located at 1304 Georgia Avenue in Baker, and their phone number is 537-3131 or 537-4231. Thanks, Danny, and all the staff at Baker Parts for helping to make coverage of Baker Gator football possible on WTJT.
One of our sponsors this year for our live coverage of Baker Gator varsity football is Wise Equipment in Crestview. Wise Equipment specializes in sales and services of Kubota and John Deere mowers and tractors. They carry Steel and John Deere chainsaws, line trimmers, and blowers. Plus, they have John Deere toys. All products are backed by a manufacturer's warranty. Wise Equipment is located at 1147 South Verdon Boulevard in Crestview and can be reached at 850-682-3366.
And welcome back to Baker High School, Doug Griffith Memorial Stadium. As we start the fourth quarter, it is a running clock, and it stopped at 11:43, but there's an injured player, Holmes County player, on the field.
And so we'll have the Gators right there. We're going to play it kind of safe. It was 3rd and long, and they hand off to Mitchum up the middle. He's able to get a couple yards to make it a 4th and long, but I think the Gators are very content with this start tonight, and now they're able to get some of their younger guys in, give them some experience in a game situation like this. But we're going to have a timeout here as the injured Blue Devil is attended to.
Right, he's still on the field, and actually some of the Baker staff out there checking on him. Jessica Langston out there checking on the injured Holmes County player as well as the Holmes County staff. Of course, Jessica with the Baker staff. We'll take a timeout, be right back. Baker up 42-0.
We are proud to acknowledge the support of Whitehurst Powell Funeral Home in Crestview. They are a family-owned and operated funeral home, open 7 days a week, and can handle all funeral needs. Plus, they offer advanced planning. Whitehurst Powell is also home to the Southern Heritage Crematory. They are located at 436 James Lee Boulevard, and the phone number is 850-682-3052. Owner Andy Powell is committed to caring for you in your time of need, and is also proud to help make coverage of Baker Gator football possible.
And welcome back to Baker High School. The injured Holmes County player was Bryce Etheridge, who was helped off the field, but he does get off. And Seth, you hate to see an injury this early in the season, but anyway, the Gators back to punt on 4th down. Peyton Rockwell, the first punt for him tonight, and what a boomer! And it's fumbled by Holmes County, and it's still loose. The Gators tried to find it and pick it up. And looks like Holmes County miraculously recovers that fumble, but I don't know how. There's a half a dozen Baker Gators down there trying to pick it up as well.
About half of the Gator half the Gator punt team was down there, and it looked like the returner didn't call a fair catch. I don't know if he didn't see the pressure coming or thought he might make a little man miss and do something, but bobbles it, and immediately the Gators are on top of him. Holmes County very lucky to get the ball back and retain possession.
It pins them back inside the 25-yard line. The clock is rolling or stopped currently. 11:07 left in the ball game. Baker 42 and Holmes County nothing. So Seth, we've seen Rockwell quarterback, pass, run, and now punt the ball. And punt about as far as he throws the ball.
Great punt. A jack of all trades.
Exactly. Shotgun formation, but Lee hands off to his running back, Bubba Duncan. And Duncan is sacked by that Baker defense.
And Duncan, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, looked like he was hit initially by Joshua Gamble. And then Gamble got some assistance from some of his teammates there, Jack Adams and several others.
And Duncan just trying to find any running room, but it's so hard against this big Gator defensive line. And also when they keep about 8 men in the box most of the time, they're very strong against the run, and they've showed it pretty much this entire game tonight.
It is a yard gain, 2nd down 9, lead to the air, and he hits his receiver. That is Josiah Farrow, and he's dropped immediately that time by Trey Colmetz, and also Joe Brunson there as well.
And Farrow broke the cardinal rule of football. He ran backwards that time. As soon as he got the ball, he tried to make a couple men miss, ran the wrong direction, and the Gators, again, closed on him quick. He still got about a yard out of that pass, but still going to bring up 3rd and long, and they have not been very successful against the Gators in these 3rd and long situations.
3rd down, 8 from their 27-yard line, 9:50 left in the ball game. Again, shotgun formation. Quarterback remains Tyler Lee. Now there's a whistle, and there's going to be a timeout by Holmes County. Baker 42, Holmes County nothing. Back after this.
Once again, WTJT would like to say thank you to the Okaloosa County Teachers Federal Credit Union here in Baker. The Okaloosa County Teachers Federal Credit Union offers a wide variety of services. They have savings and investments, checking accounts, insurance, home banking, NADA vehicle values, as well as auto loans, mortgage loans, and they also offer online banking. The Okaloosa County Teachers Federal Credit Union is located at 1307 Georgia Avenue, right past the Gator Cafe in Baker, and can be reached by phone at 850-537-9815 or on the web at okaloosa.fcu.org.
And welcome back to Baker High School after a timeout by Holmes County. They come back out facing 3rd down, 8 from their 27-yard line. Again, shotgun formation, 1 running back, 3 receivers, and lead to the air, and he quickly hits his man. That is Wrangler Pitts, who picks up a couple of yards, and once again a flag is thrown.
There's just been a lot of flags tonight. A little bit has been just some miscommunication and some standard first-game jitters, but some of these have been flagrant and a little bit unsportsmanlike, and that could be what we have over there, like a personal foul, a little bit of unnecessary roughness on Holmes County.
It was a short pass anyway, short completion from Tyler Lee to Wrangler Pitts. And as you said, the penalty.
I'm sorry, it was holding. Yeah.
Holding, but it is declined by the Gators, which will force Holmes County to face a punting situation on 4th down and 8 yards. And the clock is rolling. Seth, I don't know what's up. The clock, once again, showing just the seconds, not the minutes, but
I believe we're sitting about 8.5 minutes to go.
That sounds good to me, son. Sounds good to me. So Lee back in punt formation, and there is no one deep for the Baker Gators, Seth.
Well, if one thing can be said, Lee has been a phenomenal punter tonight. Just about every kick he's had has gone in his favor and gone very deep, save for the one that was returned.
It's a high snap, but he gets it down, and he booms this one. It's going to hit at the Baker 35-yard line and roll down to about the 25. So that was about a 45-yard punt by Lee.
Which is impressive, flipping the field. And your punter is sometimes your best friend. And, I mean, he's been doing all he can tonight for the Blue Devils, just still struggling on defense to stop this prolific offense for Baker.
7:40 left in this ball game. Baker 42, Holmes County nothing. And it has been all Baker tonight. And Seth, they look like they're on the way to a win, obviously, but possibly a shutout, and that's a great way to start the season.
Absolutely.
Now some new players coming in for the Gators, and one of them is Ethan Cadenhead come running in for the offensive line, and number 34, Shane White, comes out left. And now coming on late is Caleb Simpler at the tight end position. Sam Croson, and he pitches back to Joseph Bird, and he's got some running room, and he is hog-tied and thrown out of bounds near midfield. But what a run by Joseph Bird. He's tackled by Xavion Matthews.
And Bird showing some impressive speed again on that simple toss play, but that toss play can become so hard to stop when you have such great blockers like this Gator offensive line. It looks like it's going to be negated by a hold, and that might have been why he had such a big hole to run through.
Sometimes that is the case. Sometimes a hole does provide a great hole for you to run through, but it was still fun to watch him navigate through the Blue Devil defense.
Certainly.
And once again, an official timeout for a water break. 6:14 to go. Baker 42, Holmes County nothing. Back after this.
This radio ministry relies heavily upon its gracious supporters to survive, like Days Tire Pros in Crestview. In addition to tires with a national warranty, they have a complete car care center, providing brake jobs, front end and rear end alignments, oil change, lube and filter, shocks, belts, air conditioning, and so much more. Days is located where they've been for nearly 4 decades of service on Highway 85 South, which is also home to Pack Rat Mini Storage. The phone number 850-682-5088. Thanks, Kim and staff, for your support. Days Tire Pros, home of the hassle-free guarantee.
And welcome back to Baker High School inside Doug Griffith Stadium. Seth, we have got to shorten it. That's just a lot of words. Well, I think we'll just call it Doug Griffith.
Doug Griffith. You want to call it that?
Like Doak Campbell?
Sure.
Sure, why not?
To the great Seminoles.
That's right. 6-10, first and 20 for the Gators back inside the 15-yard line. Sam Croson pitches out to Bird once again, Joseph Bird, and he is brought down by number 17, Keller Ashley of the Blue Devils.
And Bird says, I don't care about the penalty. That just gives me an extra chance to make some more yards, and he gets him back to the original line of scrimmage. Nice run by Bird there.
10 more yards to run, huh?
Exactly. It's all about stats at this point in the game, right?
And he does get out across the original line of scrimmage. They place the ball at the 26-yard line of the Gators. 5:30 left in this ball game. This season opener, rather. I guess all of us said their first game jitters. It's been 5 years for us since we've been on the air, and it's starting to show a little bit. We're a little rusty. Sam Croson pitched back again to Joseph Bird, who switches directions. He's across the 40, the 45, the 50. He's still going. He's inside the 45-yard line, and he is tackled near the Holmes County 42-yard line. A great run by Joseph Bird.
Joseph Bird showing some impressive footwork and some nice speed and agility. They're able to completely reverse directions as the entire Holmes County defense run the opposite way and have to turn around, chase him back, and he makes a nice run to the outside. Again, following great blocks, it all comes down to your O-line, and the O-line has just really had their way with the Holmes County D-line tonight.
That's about a 37-yard pickup for Joseph Bird. 4.5 to go in the ball game. Baker 42, Holmes County nothing. Sam Croson remains quarterback, and they stay in the I formation. Garrett Mitchum at fullback and Joseph Bird at the tailback position. And once again, Joseph Bird, this time to his left side. He's around the left side, 30-yard line, and down close to the 25-yard line before being tackled by number 2, Jacob Carter, for the Blue Devils.
And again, Baker staying in that power eye that they've been in the entire night, getting just wonderful blocks from the likes of their fullback, Gary Mitchum, and their wide receivers like Shane White on the edge there. And obviously the entire O-line is just doing a great job. But it looks like we're going to have an injured Blue Devil out there on the field. And
that's Jacob Carter, who just made the tackle, and the Blue Devils have already lost Bryce Etheridge due to an injury. And now Jacob Carter made a great tackle on Bird. He's still down at about the 25-yard line. We'll take a short timeout. Be right back after this.
WTJT would like to thank Jason Norton and Baker Metalworks for allowing us to bring live Baker Gator football coverage to the listeners of WTJT. Baker Metalworks offers a large variety of colors, and they are all Energy Star rated. They have 4 profile styles with 29 and 26 gauge. They also have delivery available, and all of their materials are Florida product approved. Baker Metalworks is located at 5846 Highway 189 in Baker. They can be reached by phone at 850-537-2010. Thanks again to Baker Metalworks for all of your support here at WTJT.
And welcome back to Baker High School. Jacob Carter gets up on under his own power set, and he trots off the field, so looks like he'll be okay. Yeah, it's always good to see. 3:55 left in this ball game. Baker up 42-0. And it's 1st and 10 Gators at the Blue Devil 27-yard line. Quarterback remains Sam Croson. In the backfield is Garrett Mitchum and Joseph Bird. And coming on late is Eric Arias. And it's Bird, and he slips down at the 30-yard line. Or excuse me, not the Bird. That is Chris Comey. on the carry, and he slips at the 30-yard line.
That time the old grass monster got him in the backfield.
The grass monster gets you every time.
I know normally they say the turf monster in like NFL and college, but we don't play on turf here at Doug Griffith Memorial Stadium. So that time it was the grass.
The grass monster. 3 minutes left in the ball game, and second down and 13 for the Gators at the Blue Devil 31-yard line. Sam Croson under center. Pitch back to Shane White. A flag comes down immediately in the backfield. Negates a short run by Shane White.
Like we might have had illegal substitution there on the offense.
And that is the correct call. And the clock is still running. 2:25 to go in this ball game. And Seth, it's good to see this stadium, filled to near capacity. Holmes County, a great following.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
And Seth, now it looks like a couple of players are attempting to give a Powerade bath to Coach Brunson. I don't think that's a wise idea myself.
I wouldn't imagine. Is that
it's not Coach Brunson. Okay, they chicken out. They got one of the other coaches. Sam Croson under center, and there was a lot of movement before the ball was snapped. Garrett Mitchum on the carry, but it's going to be nullified. That was an obvious illegal procedure against the Gators.
Yeah, a lot of movement up there. And again, like we said, they brought in a lot of their younger players, a lot of their second-string guys, and they're getting their first chance to come in the game and play. It's jitters, first game of the season, like we've said all game. So these penalties are permissible, but I'm sure something Coach Brunson will work on with them next week.
Well, yeah, I can tell you, you get in there, you practice all summer. Of course, you had the kickoff classic last weekend, but now a game that actually counts, and you get in there and you get all excited and you're ready to play, and sometimes you just jump, at the first sound you hear, but it's all good. It's only second down and about 21 to go, but the clock is down to a minute. Sam Croson, quarterback. Garrett Mitchum, fullback, and it's Mitchum on the handoff, and he busts through that offensive line, and he picks up about 5 yards down to the 37-yard line.
And just a good run by Garrett, taking it, running right up the middle, following some good blocks by this Gator O-line that are still playing to the final second till the clock hits triple zeros. And then the Gators will have to run one more play here, and I anticipate a victory formation from Coach Brunson's Gators.
Well, he runs behind big lineman Gavin Vaccarello, who I believe nickname is Crisco.
Crisco. I like that.
As given to him by his coach, Anthony Patton.
Gets it popping like Crisco.
Yep. Now Sam Croson just takes a knee as we're down to 10 seconds. And so on the opening game of the season for the Baker Gators, they do come away with a shutout. And that's going to wrap it up here. Your final score, Baker 42, Holmes County nothing. Back after this.
Hi, this is Tony from Baker Feed and Country Store. The Baker Gator football season is back, and we are proud supporters of WTJT's live Baker Gator football program. Baker Feed and Country Store has all your fall food plot, seed, and fertilizer needs, along with corn, rice bran, pellets, and blocks. We carry Justin boots, belts, wallets, and Wrangler jeans. Baker Feed and Country Store is located on the right at the light in downtown Baker and can be reached by phone 537-1000. Again, that's 537-1000. Go Gators!
WTJT and the Baker Gators are proud to recognize Baker Parts in downtown Baker as a sponsor of live coverage of Baker Gator football. Baker Parts has auto parts and hardware for all household needs. Baker Parts is located at 1304 Georgia Avenue in Baker, and their phone number is 537-3131 or 537-4231. Thanks, Danny, and all the staff at Baker Parts for helping to make coverage of Baker Gator football possible on WTJT.
WTJT would like to thank Harris Fence of Baker, Florida for their support of WTJT and live coverage of Baker Gator football. Harris Fence offers a wide range of fencing services and supplies which include chain link, galvanized or vinyl coated, wood, privacy or picket, PVC, privacy, 3-rail, etc., and ornamental aluminum. They also offer various styles and brands. They do residential, commercial, and industrial work as well as offer free estimates and military and senior citizen discounts. Harris Fence is fully licensed and insured, and they have been serving Okaloosa, Walton, and Santa Rosa County for 21 years with 35 years experience. They are also a member of the Better Business Bureau. Harris Fence is located at 1588 Garrett Mill Road in Baker, Florida, and they can also be contacted by phone at 537-6169. Thanks again to Harris Fence and James and Rebecca Harris for your support of WTJT and our local football team.
And welcome back to Baker High School, Doug Griffith Memorial Stadium for tonight's season opener. Final score, Baker 42, Holmes County nothing. Mark Forehand and Seth with you. And Seth, any final thoughts on tonight's ball game?
I'm telling you, the Gators really impressed me tonight. It's been a while since I've got to come see them. Obviously, I think I haven't been to a game, I don't believe, since the 5 years ago when we called our last one here. But I've heard just how great they've done over the last several years, and to get to come see them again in person and see that Coach Brunson is just turning Baker back into the powerhouse that it once was back in the 80s and the 90s. And tonight was no different. Obviously, they're led by Junior McLaughlin, who scored 3 touchdowns on the ground and then had that 1 punt return for a touchdown. And obviously, Peyton Rockwell with a great arm. He only threw the ball maybe 5 times. I believe all of them were completions, and the very last one was a touchdown pass to Derek Peoples. So just an impressive, prolific offense that really didn't even get to finish out because of the running clock in the very last bit. So in a game that counts for more, maybe later on the season in the district games that may be closer, if the defense allows it, it's going to be fun to see how they continue to work and continue to improve, obviously. I mean, in the very first game, not a whole lot of mistakes offensively, and defense, obviously very stout, producing the shutout, like you said. I mean, that's a very big boost for them going into the next game and something they can look back on, see what they did right, and there wasn't a whole lot done wrong tonight. Holmes County can come away from this, see areas where they need to improve, see how things worked. A couple of drives where they were able to drive down, get it deep into Baker territory, but then those drives just kind of stuttered and stopped. And so they have a lot to work on, but I think they're a fairly young team, so they have opportunities to build on, and I look forward to seeing how they do the rest of the season. But I'm telling you right now, this is going to be a fun season of Baker Gator football. Yes,
it is, and we're glad to be a part of it. Thanks so much for listening. We'll be right back here next week on WTJT 90.1 FM. Next week, the Gators will be entertaining one of Coach Brunson's former head coaching position jobs, Vernon Yellow Jackets. So next week, we will start at 6:45, kickoff 7 o'clock, Baker and Vernon. For Seth Forehand, I'm Mark. Thanks for listening to WTJT Baker 90.1 FM.